And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over the mainstream media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, Donald Trump and his stance on abortion. Some are upset, some are triggered, some are happy, some are kind of somewhere in the middle. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Muslim migrants in New York City say that the food they're being served at shelters is not quite up to snuff. It's not quite up to par. Let's do a little bit better. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, if you don't smoke Newports, you ain't black. As if only black people exclusively smoke menthol cigarettes, the Biden administration is delaying a ban on those cigarettes. Meanwhile, border wide open, fentanyl coming across, all kind of Percocet, Xanax, all kind of anxiety medication from Big Pharma. All of that is still flooding our streets. But menthol cigarettes, we're going to ban that after the election. But we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Candace Owens versus Ben Shapiro in a debate. Who do you have? I think you guys know who I think would win that. I believe Candace Owens would mop the floor with Little Ben. But we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Kevin McCarthy. Why was he ousted as Speaker of the House? Was it to be a patriot, or was it for a more personable reason? We'll talk about all these things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you are hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a lot going on tonight. There's a lot of videos. There's a lot to discuss. There's quite a few topics. And again, shout out to you guys, of course, for being here. If you enjoy the content, y'all know what to do. And also, this is a podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether it be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Also, shout out to the sponsors, and just a fair warning for you guys. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I have my guy out there getting ads for me to read during some of the videos. So I will have ad reads on some of the videos, but it won't be that bad, I promise. I'm going to try to do them to the point where it's not overwhelming. So as of right now, I don't have a lot of sponsors, but my guys out there is like, yo, man, come on, let's. So I'll have a few, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how everything is. Just like what happened. Remember, I had some of the ads on the live stream. I turned those off, but I may have some live ad reads on my regular videos, okay? And I may have some right here. We'll see. But you know my regular 3, patriotpost.us. Y'all check them out. Links right there in the description. Best source of news on the internet. So of course, they're always right there in the description. And of course, my 2 websites, my own websites that you guys know about, ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. And of course, my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN. Hold on, I messed myself up. ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Can I spell my own name or nah? But check out the websites. Everything you need to be right there, especially on my regular AnthonyBLogan.com website. On the front page, you'll be able to see articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I'll have sources from the left, from the right, from Democrats, Republicans, national, international, local, whatever you want. I'll have full videos. I'll have full context. I'll have a summary. I'll have whatever you need on the front page of the website and the individual articles on AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us, I believe. And you can find my email address, my snail mail address, of course, my UPS box, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X. All my links will be right there on the contact page, so you know how to get in touch with me. And of course, as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you are conversing with me or not, a surefire way to tell is if the email matches the email on my website. I'm not going to direct you to some 579-digit WhatsApp number. I'm not going to be responding to your comments and YouTube videos talking about, hey, hit me up on this random sketchy number on WhatsApp, talking about I know how to invest in Bitcoin or Forex or something weird. I'm just not going to do it. That's not me. It's a scam. It's a lot of that type of stuff going on all over the interwebs. So please, please, please be vigilant. Don't get scammed. Don't nobody got time for that. All right. And is that all I wanted to say? I think that's it for right now. So, yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. We got a whole lot going on. And shout out to everybody in the chat. All right. Now, the eclipse. Did you guys see the eclipse? Now, I saw it a little bit out here in Tennessee. We didn't get the full coverage where it's like right in the center. The eclipse I saw, it was like a crescent moon. I guess that'd probably be the best way to explain it. It was cool. You know, I had some of those glasses and I looked up at it. You know, some of you guys are out there looking like this at the sun, you know, directly into the actual, some of y'all were like that at the sun, and it's fine. No judgment. But me personally, I had my glasses. I don't want to, my vision, my eyes are already bad. Already got bad eyes. I can't really see. That's why I wear glasses. I'm not trying to be fashionable. I'm not trying to be a hipster. I legitimately need glasses. And I've been wearing these since I've been about 7 or 8 years old because I was always a bookworm, a big nerd. So I got nearsighted from reading books all the time. So yeah, I need my glasses. And I have like a little bit of nerve damage. But that's a different story. So I'm not trying to look up at the sun and get injured. But some of y'all were up there like this. Now, hopefully, you didn't burn your cornea, your retina, or anything like that, and you're good to go. Yeah, the eclipse was a teeny bit overrated, unless you were like in the path of it. If you were in the path and you saw the shadow, the umbra, that was probably an experience. But if you just happen to look and see like a little bit of a crescent, and you know, I want to get the full experience. All right. The next time there's an eclipse, I want to go to right where it's happening on the mountaintop or something like that, so I can get a direct view. The shadow will be right on me. That's what I want to see. I want to feel like the moon is going to fall on my forehead. Denisha says, I was looking right at the sun. Well, hey, RIP to your vision. All right. So hopefully you guys are not up there like this. But yeah, I'm with you, Shaquille Oatmeal. You're tired of people talking about it. So everybody was talking about it. Really, I had no desire to look at it at all. I was like, okay, it's an eclipse. So what? Big deal. But since people kept talking about it, I got curious and I looked, but I did have some glasses. So that was it. Polka Dot Suzanne says, I saw a full solar eclipse in Nashville in 2017. See, that would have been a sight to see for sure. I think this is what Trump was looking at back then at the in the White House with no glasses on. That was wild. So yeah, shout out to my man. Ember says next one won't be until 2045, so kind of a big deal. Yeah, I understand that. You know, time is flying so fast. You know, we're already in 2024. 2045 will be here before you know it. Time flies so fast. Think about 2017, when that was, you know, during Trump, and now it's 2024. I mean, even C-19, COVID, started 4 years ago. But I remember when COVID first started in 2020, officially, it had started really in 2019, COVID-19, coronavirus of 2019. Anyway, it started in 2019 in reality, like Fonnie Willis's father said in court, like a lot of us already knew, but they didn't officially start to shut things down and make all these crazy draconian rules until March of 2020. I'll never forget it. I told the story before, but I just got done filming Jubilee, and I knew when I left, because they film in LA. So I flew from Atlanta to Los Angeles. So I knew that there was going to be some stuff in the airport because I'd already known about C-19. So on the flight there, everything was all right. It wasn't really a big deal. On the way back, and mind you, this is only about 2 or 3 days of me being out there. So it hit right when I was out there in Los Angeles. On the way back, I'm talking about everybody and their mama, their grandmama, the little kids and everything was in the bathroom scrubbing their hands. Okay, it's like, wow, it took a whole scamdemic to make people wash their hands. That's crazy, because normally when you go to a bathroom, people are not washing their hands like that. I done looked straight at people, go to the urinal, use it, be up there for a while, singing and all that kind of stuff, humming to themselves, and walk straight away. Don't even look at the actual sink or the soap or the hand sanitizer, nothing. Just walk straight away. Boom. And I'm going right back outside to the convenience store. I'm going to touch every item and have that be that. Okay. So, but when the scandemic hit, oh, no, that wasn't going on. Everybody, and I do mean everybody, was washing and scrubbing their hands like they had to do it or else they were going to die. That was a level of intensity back then. So yeah, it's been 4 years since that whole thing happened, and we learned quite a bit from that. I was reading recently, they're talking about it could be a new scamdemic, talking about bird flu or something like that. They said it could be 100 times worse. It's like, check it out. Watch this. I'm not going to shut down ever again. If I die, I die. It is what it is. Shutting down because a virus might hit you is like never leaving your house because a rock might fall from the sky. A plane might crash. If you get into a car, you might get into an accident. It's like, look, man, at the end of the day, things happen. You can't live forever. I'm not going to do things that is going to intentionally end my life, but I'm not going to hide from the outside because it's some kind of mystical bug out there. Like that movie, what was it, Stephen King, The Mist. Okay, we're not going to be scooped up in this convenience store because some fog is outside. I promise I'm not going to do it. Because if the fog is going to delete you, if you just step foot outside this little automatic door, then what's the stop of coming inside the vents? I mean, anyway, my point is that I'm not just going to stop living because people want me to be afraid and the government says so. You're not going to weld me in my house. You're not going to take my guns away. You're not going to do anything. I'm going to be out there living my best life. Okay, virus or no virus, I'm doing my thing. You out here with a gas mask on like it's Mad Max or something, like it's nuclear fallout. I'm going to have no mask on. I'll be chilling, doing my thing. I'll never forget when some of the so-called lockdowns first lifted out here, as far as like sit-down restaurants. I went to a restaurant and we were seated right next to an elderly couple. Okay. They no mask because look, think about the elderly during that time, what they had to go through. Oh no. Like, look, we're going to be out here. You're 95 years old. Are you afraid of death at that point? No, you're going to just be doing your normal routine and have that be that. And if you don't make it, then you don't make it. That's your regular everyday life anyway. But I'm getting triggered, so I digress. Oh, yeah. G Nels, I saw G Nels give me a super chat. G Nels says, ABL, can't wait to hear you touch on Trump at Chick-fil-A and that goofy, can I say this? Goofy heifer? That means female cow, so I can say that. The goofy heifer, Sheila Jackson Lee. Oh, I'm going to do a whole video on Sheila Jackson Lee talking about what she said, that the eclipse was caused by climate change. Was that her or was that Sunny hosting? I think Sheila Jackson Lee, I forgot what she said. It was crazy, but I do have that video bookmarked. So I will be talking about that for sure. And of course, Trump at Chick-fil-A. All right, we're going to get to it. So let's go ahead and keep on rocking and rolling. Oh, and matter of fact, look at this. Here is a video I was speaking about. I already had it queued up. This is Sunny hosting on The View talking about the eclipse was caused by climate change. Now, the moon has a shadow, and you're talking about, you know what? The things that we have learned as kids in school, I'm talking about K through 12, really K through 5, basic solar system stuff. Remember your project you had to do with the solar system? Okay, you got the sun, moon, and the planets. So you got the sun in the middle, the earth with the moon, and then the other planets. That was your project. Paper mache, cardboard boxes, whatever. And then you'd be afraid to talk to your mom because you got assigned a project a month ago, and you talking to your mom the night before talking about, can we go to Family Dollar and get some cardboard and some markers because I got to do a project. I thought that we all did that as kids. We knew what the eclipse was, we knew what the sun was, and we knew what the planets are. But now nothing makes any sense. We don't know what the planets are, what the moons are. We don't know what being a man or a woman is anymore. We don't know nothing. But I digress. Check it out.
Things together would maybe lead one to believe that, either climate change exists,
that's more
or
the
something
point.
is really
going on.
returning.
Earthquakes are not at the mercy of climate change. It's underground. It can't. I don't think that
it happens.
How about the warming of the planet?
The eclipse, they've known about the eclipse coming because eclipses happen, and they actually can say when these things are going to happen.
Those things together.
So I guess because you got earthquakes, they had the earthquake in New York, that area, Philadelphia, Connecticut, whatever, Pennsylvania. She's saying that the earthquakes and the eclipse happening, it could be a climate change thing. Who knows? That could be what causes it. It's like, man, come on, let's stop. Let's stop. Climate change causing earthquakes, is that what we're going to go with? And the eclipse, bringing that together? The dumbest thing in the world. But these people are pretty educated too. See, that's one thing we got to really kind of focus on. These are not just TV morons. These are not people that are just from the streets that don't have any kind of background. A lot of them have high education. They did very well in school. And that's why they are on television, is because of their performance academically, people that they know. They did very well in their field. That's why they are on television. And this is exactly why people like myself and many others on YouTube are stomping them into a fine wine, because we can do what they do better than they do without their level of education and all their accolades and accomplishments in the field. And they don't like that too much. They don't like it at all. So yeah, climate change and climate change is a hoax. People are so crazy and ridiculous. It ain't nothing but a grift, but people are really believing it. And they think that causes a solar eclipse and also climate change, earthquakes. I think climate change causes the eclipse and earthquakes. Let's keep on going here. Now, here's the actual eclipse from Mexico. Now, if I was able to see the eclipse like this, then that might be something to see. But that's not what happened in my neck of the woods. It was still like a bright sunny day. It was only a partial eclipse. It wasn't like this. If I can see something like this, where I get to be right up under the umbra and I can see the moon and the path of the sun, that would have been good. That would have been amazing. Somebody said, why are they cheering? So there we go. You may see something like that, then we get money. What's going on, O'Shea Duke Jackson? I see you in the chat, boss. Shout out to you, man. The Triple OG himself in the building. Thank you, man, for coming on through. All right. So yeah, if you saw the eclipse, that's cool. But please understand that the solar eclipse was not caused by climate change. And if you felt the earthquake, that was also not caused by climate change. Climate change is fake. It's to the point now where we got to tell adults that things are fake. Remember when you got told as a kid at a certain point that, well, I don't want to say because you might have kids watching, but there was a certain fat man that would wear red with the hat that was considered fake. And we had to get told at a certain point that it was fake, or we found out on our own. Now we got grown people, 40 years old, 50 years old, 80 years old, full gray hair, and we got to tell them that some of these things are fake. Hey, you know what? Climate change ain't real. It's just not. Please stop. Like, get it together. Just like so many people right here, but they have Trump derangement syndrome. We got to tell these grown people, hey, you know what? Trump cannot come from up under your bed and hurt you It's not like the movie It, where you get the monster in the sewer. It's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. The monster's not going to hurt you. You're going to be okay. Okay? When you were a little boy or a little girl, you might have thought it was a closet monster just lurking in your room, and you be afraid at certain times of the night. You might hear the HVAC starting, and you think the closet monster is in there getting ready to delete you in your sleep. And you had to get told, hey, ain't nothing in there. There's no closet monster. You're good to go. You got to tell that now to full-grown adults. It's crazy. But hey, that's what you get when you infantilize a nation, when there's zero accountability and people can do whatever they want, and you got to play into their fantasies. You think you're really a dog. You think you're a cat. Okay, give you a kitty litter box. You think that you are a woman when you're really a man. Okay, we're going to call you she, her, although you're 6'5" with a whole Adam's apple and a 5 o'clock shadow at 12 noon. You understand? It's crazy, but I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, so check out this example of Trump derangement syndrome. Shout out to Myth Informer Walkie for posting this one.
Right now, Donald Trump is telling us that he wants to be a dictator. And if we've learned one thing about this man, believe him. Yeah. Believe how crazy he is, because he telegraphs it.
That's exactly right.
He tells you. There's no hoodwinking.
Exactly right.
He tells you over and over again, and on Truth Social at 3 a.m. and cap locks, and then the next morning on Newsmax. I mean, it's literally nonstop.
There's no whisper. There is no dog whistle. It is like a gigantic bark.
I mean, wait a minute. Like, I don't understand. Okay, I think I know what's going on. I think Kamala Harris has limited vocabulary. That's why when she's speaking, she'll say the same thing over and over again, because she doesn't have that many ways to express herself. A gigantic bark, that's all you could come up with. I think leaving it at dog whistle was enough. You didn't need to have the bark. And that doesn't even make any sense. A dog whistle is something that humans would blow that only a dog can hear. So the term dog whistle, to compare that to a bark, I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
I don't think it's hyperbolic to say this genuinely could be the last Democratic election we ever have.
You're right.
Listen to what he says. He's telling you dictators aren't a dictator for one day, and then it's let the people decide.
Right now,
So there we have it. Now, I'm not sure what's going on here. This is Kamala Harris and two ladies. If y'all know who these women are, y'all let me know. I have no idea. They're promoting something. They got some kind of podcast going on with the biggest mics in the world. And I thought that was O'Shea, but that's not O'Shea. We got a fake O'Shea. Shout out to the fake O'Shea. And shout out to the real O'Shea. That's my guy. But yeah, the biggest mics in the world. Can we get something a little bit less conspicuous? We can't get lapel mics. I mean, really, the things y'all talking about do not require the mics that belong on a battleship. I mean, what are we going to do? Are we going to go out there and try to interview dolphins from the deck of an aircraft carrier? I don't understand why the mics are so big. What is going on? But yeah, can we expand our vocabulary, please, Miss Kamala Harris? You're in your 50s and you got about 10 words to your name. Like, what's really happening? But anyway, we'll keep on moving here. But yeah, Trump derangement syndrome is crazy. Trump cannot hurt you. It's going to be okay. It is going to be all right. Okay. Now, I'm going to talk about Trump in a minute, but here is Chunk Yogurt, Sink Uger from Young Turks talking about if Jon Stewart was to run for president as a third party, that he would flat out win. Let's check it out.
All we have is awful choices. So I'll end on not a hopeful thing because it's not going to happen, but I'll tell you who, if they ran, I know they don't believe it. I know I can't get it through his thick head.
Hold on, before we continue, somebody said that it looked like the Wayans brothers from White Chicks. Hilarious. That is an accurate assessment. But let's get back to your man Chunk Yogurt talking about Jon Stewart could win. Jon Stewart, really, do you guys think he has a chance of being able to become the president of the USA in this year, 2024?
This is true. But if Jon Stewart ran right now as a third party candidate, he would win. He would flat out win. Because that's a guy who's honest. His positions are almost identical to the American people's positions. He's against corruption. He's a decent human being and he's smart. Oh my God. And he's funny. He's entertaining. People love people that are entertaining. Jon Stewart would win as a third party candidate. For God's sake, John, God damn it, do something. Don't leave us with these horrible options.
My God, that'd be amazing. And look, I obviously don't agree with Jon Stewart on everything, but I mean, if you look at the field right now and the possibility of Jon Stewart being an option, I mean, where's the question? There is no question. He would totally get my support, hands down.
So there you have it. So it's like, how y'all guys feel about Jon Stewart? Is that your pick? If you had to pick between Trump, Biden, and Jon Stewart, who would it be? I ain't gonna do no poll on that because I already know who's gonna win. You know, we already know what time it is. We already know who's the best guy. And I'll tell you who the best guy is not. It's gonna be this guy right here. Let's check it out. This is Joe Biden during a press conference gone awry. Is it awry or awry?
Third, next question. Who do I call on next? Hang on a second. I got my list here. Hang on. I apologize. Aurelia of AFP.
So it's like, what are we doing? Like, what is really going on here? I mean, come on. Like, you got to go to a list and figure out who you're going to call. This is going back to the whole thing about everything being scripted. Like Sage Steele said, Sage Steele was like, hey, when I did the interview with him back in 2021, I believe, or 2019, one of those years, it might have been 19 or 21. I think it was 21. When she interviewed Joe Biden in 21 on ESPN, every single line was scripted. She couldn't ask any follow-up questions. She couldn't go off the cuff. She couldn't just riff. Everything was by the book because he does not do well off the cuff. Okay. Let's keep on going. This is him talking about he can't help the border at all because it's out of his hands. It's above him. The border's open. You can't do anything about it. Now, wait a minute. Okay. Is that him? Is that Joe Biden? Like, do you guys see what I'm looking at? Like, who is this? Who is this? Now, this is on, I think, Univision. Do they have a Mexican Joe Biden clone? Because who is that guy? Look at his face. Wait a minute. Am I tripping? What is going on? Okay, look. So we see Joe Biden right there. And then that's him again right there. And then right there. So that's Joe Biden right there. And then let's go back. That's him again. Who is that? Okay, let's hear what this person has to say.
Have you made a final decision on taking executive order in terms of what you want to do at the border? That includes the power to shut down the border as it was suggested.
Well, it's suggested that. We're examining whether or not I have that power. I would have that power under the legislation when the border has over 500,000 people, 5,000 people a day trying to cross the border because you can't manage it, slow it up. There's no guarantee that I have that power all by myself without legislation. And some have suggested I should just go ahead and try it. And if I get shut down by the court, I get shut down by the court. But we're trying to work through that right now.
Have you?
So yeah, that is allegedly Joe Biden. Like, he does not look, I don't know who that is. I don't know what's going on, but something's fishy. I don't know if they got him on makeup or he's wearing the mask or he's some kind of filler in his face, but that's not the same guy that I've been seeing over the past 2 or 3 years. I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, that's him talking about he can't take executive action. He cannot take executive action to secure the border because the courts might rule against him, which didn't stop him when he unilaterally canceled student loan debt or when he opened the border via executive order. Exactly. So this is a bunch of lies from some person who I don't recognize at all. Let's keep on moving here. This is him again at the same press conference from a little while ago when everybody was trying to ask him a question. Let's see how he was able to respond to it.
Thank you. Why didn't everybody holler at once?
I'll ask you briefly on the issue of abortion.
Thank you.
So that's him not being able to handle people talking to him at once after a presser. Oh, here's a good video that I saw. How many lives has Joe Biden lived? He grew up in the Greek community, the black community, the Puerto Rican community. He grew up in all the communities. Okay, let's watch this.
I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community. I had a very close relationship with the Greek American community, for real. I am Joe Bidenopoulos. I grew up in a heavily Irish Catholic community in Scranton,
Joe Bidenopoulos, that's racist.
Pennsylvania, and a heavily Italian Polish community. When I say I got raised in the black church, he knows I'm not kidding. The Persian culture is amazing. As a student of the Persian culture, I probably went to shul more than many of you. I come out of the black community. The background of my family is Irish American, not fundamentally unlike the Palestinian people. You might say, raised in the synagogues of my state.
Oh, and now he's Jewish. Okay, so you go from the Greeks to the Polish to the blacks to everything.
Town was either Polish or Italian. I grew up feeling self-conscious. My name didn't end in an SKI. I was raised in a neighborhood where I felt self-conscious. My name didn't end in O. That's kind of how I was raised, like so many Americans of Irish heritage.
In HBCU in your home state, Mr. President.
Let me tell you, forget about it. That's right. That's where I got raised, man. Just like rabbis, synagogues, and Jewish community centers in your hometowns, and that's the tradition I got raised. Hard-working people, the middle class, the neighborhoods I got raised in. I was raised on GM. I was raised by Danny Inouye. I was raised by a righteous Christian.
So yeah, you get the general idea what's going on. He pretty much was raised everywhere. That's Joe Biden all over the place. Okay, he'll tell you pretty much anything that you want to hear. That's kind of how he operates. Now, to get to the real president, our guy, one Donald Trump, at the Chick-fil-A, and I think this was it's Atlanta, but I'm not exactly sure where. I'm gonna try to find exactly which location this is, but I know it's Atlanta. All right, and for the record, Atlanta, my favorite city, absolute favorite city in the U.S. to be in. People might not like it, but I do. Shout out to ATL. All right, let's check this out right quick. And let's throw it up. And here we go.
Can I have 30 milkshakes? And also some chicken. I'm going to take care of the customers. Is business good? You making a lot of money? Everyone, you're getting rich, right? Thanks very much. Look at the way you hold. You like each other, right? Can I have 30 milkshakes? And also some chicken. I'm going to take care of the customers. Is business good? You're making a lot of money? Everyone, you're getting rich, right? Thanks very much.
The black community always loved Trump. I was saying this, what was that? When was that? Yesterday. Shout out to Andre Hatchett. I did his podcast in Atlanta yesterday. And I was saying, before Trump ran for president in 2015, before he came down the escalator with Melania, he was an honorary member of the black community. Yes, he was. And a lot of us still have love for him. Unfortunately, a lot of us are still married to our Democratic Party affiliation. That's the problem we got to get beyond. But this is not abnormal to see Trump get a lot of love. A lot of your mouth breathers and your basement dwellers and your haters online are going to say negative things. But the truth is, Trump has a lot of love in the community. Unfortunately, that's not translating into votes, but you can see what's happening right there in person. All right. Now let's watch some more. This is some more interaction with Trump and people at Chick-fil-A.
This is Morehouse. This is Morris Brown and all that.
So what she's saying is that these are black colleges that came in, that are here right now with Trump. That's what she's talking about.
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We support you, man.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a
Trump hates black people. Black people hate Trump. Really? For real? I can't tell.
took care of the black colleges, universities, they're taken care of now, and she understands it. A lot of people don't understand it. Biden did nothing for them, and I did everything. I did everything.
Tell them how y'all been suffering, y'all. How y'all suffering? There's no housing.
So we got black colleges in Atlanta coming out and meeting with Trump right there. And there's no hate, no booing, no nothing. Everything's all good. Everything's all good. Okay. And she said 4PF. If you don't know what that means, 4 pockets full. So they might say that in Atlanta, but really that's like if you got a lot of money and you're doing very well, but it's also a rapper's record label. If you don't know what that means, 4PF. So shout out to Lil Baby 4PF and shout out to all of them out there who are supporting the president. Okay. Again, no protesting, no booing, no hating. It's all love. All love. Here's another view of the Chick-fil-A visit. All right. Everybody's sending attention. Everybody's being respectful. Everybody's being all good. Yes, he does have Secret Service there all the time. Secret Service is always there. Anybody that you see in the suit that's next to Trump, the Secret. See my guy right here, Secret Service. You can identify him pretty easily. So it's one right there, right behind Trump. One right here, already in the building. And then, of course, they're going to make sure everything's straight in the spot before they go in there. Yeah, very secure.
Good-looking people. Wow. That was worth it. And I love doing what you have. That's beautiful. Wow. That's art, right? I've been doing everything okay. So can I have 30 milkshakes? And also some chicken. And we're going to take care of the customers. Is business good? You're making a lot of money? Everyone can get rich, right? Excellent. Thank you very much. Look at the way you hold. You like each other, right? I think that's very nice. Have a good time. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. So we'll order 30 milkshakes. We'll give them out to the people, and we'll take some for ourselves. Okay? Good. Thank you very much, everybody.
30 milkshakes.
Hello.
This has got a great American franchise, Chick-fil-A.
It is. It's a great franchise. The owner is a great man who's a member of one of my clubs, and he's fantastic. And yeah, they do very well. They're closed on Sunday.
It's the Lord's Chicken.
That's the Lord's Chicken. You're right.
Now, I didn't know Dan Cathy was a member of one of Trump's clubs. Very interesting. Shout out to Dan Cathy. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. And shout out to everybody out there in Atlanta for making it a very hospitable visit. Not just the Chick-fil-A employees, but also the college students who came out and saw Trump in Atlanta. All right. So shout out to them. Yeah, nothing but love. It's all good. No problems. All right. Now let's keep on moving here.
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
There's another view.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a
So there we go. That right there. Put that on the t-shirt. Put it on the t-shirt. Now, what do you think the hit pieces are going to say about that interaction? What's going to be their point of view? What are they going to say? Oh, that she hates herself and she sold her soul. I'm already seeing the comments. Everybody's cheering. Nobody's saying anything crazy. It's all good. It's all good. And also, you can see Secret Service everywhere. Secret Service right there. She's Secret Service. You can kind of tell. First of all, they're going to be wearing suits and they're going to look dead serious. No smiles. They're going to be holding their jacket sometimes like that. Or they may have their hands in front of them like this. In a prepared position. So they probably got a gun right here in their jacket pocket, or they got something on their waist. They're always ready to be in a defensive stance. They're always in a defensive stance, and they're always observing what's going on. So anybody in the suit, right there. These are all Secret Service all around Trump, for sure. Okay. My man right here got tats on his face with a big smile, loving the situation. Okay. We got dreads, we got big tats, we got young people, college students having a good old time with President Trump.
I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
So there we go. The media, everybody know the media sucks. Don't listen to what they say. You got support. And of course, as Trump leaves, they had the interstate shut down. All right. And the interstate, I've been down the interstate many times, down 75, 85, all that. It's very busy right there, but they shut it down for the motorcade. Let's turn the music down because they want to try to give me a copyright. Okay, this is going back to Hartsfield, Jackson, Cleveland, all of that. That's like right there on West Side. So they're going back to, see, airport. And that's what that is. Big motorcade. Some people say in the comments, well, he's not the president anymore. He's a regular citizen, man, please. If it's Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, anybody like that, they're going to have a motorcade like that. Okay, Hillary Clinton, it'll be the same thing. That's just how it is with any former president, first lady, or whatever. They're going to have, you know, things like this going on. And then, of course, we got the Trump plane right there on the tarmac. And we got all the staff, everybody, all the officers, you know, making sure that he's able to get back to the plane nice and safe and sound. All right. Everybody posing for the picture. Good old time. Welcome to Atlanta. Welcome to Georgia. Welcome to the South. Very hospitable, very professional, and that's how it's supposed to be. So shout out to all them. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Come on, man. It says Secret Service look like Agent Smith. Yeah, they do look like Agent Smith from The Matrix. Absolutely. That's how it's supposed to look. They might have gotten the Agent Smith thing from Secret Service because it makes sense, you know, for, you know, that's kind of how they operate. You know, it's a lot of them. And if anything happens, they're going to be on you immediately. They know where you are. They got a lot of special privileges. That's kind of what's going on with that. So, yeah, shout out to them. And shout out to Kevin McCarthy as well. Now, Kevin McCarthy, can we get straight to it? I'm going to get straight to some controversial stuff. Some of you guys don't like McCarthy. You say that he is, some of you guys don't like him. You say that he is, he's a rhino, all this, that, and the third. But really, you can like or dislike McCarthy. But I think the real reason why McCarthy was ousted by your man Matt Gaetz and a few others is because of the issues with Matt Gaetz. So here's what's happening with Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is being accused of having relations with a minor. Sexual assault, right? Because a minor, obviously you can't do that. It's illegal. And there was some money involved and there might have been some interstate transport. I'm not really sure. But one guy already went to prison over it and he's doing like 11 years in prison. One guy who was a Gaetz associate who was involved in the same thing already went to prison. Now, the DOJ says they're not going to charge Matt Gaetz. However, that does not mean that he's innocent or guilty. All that it means is that they're not going to charge him. Now, they could charge him later because there's been no charges. The only way you can't get charged again is if you actually get charged and go through a trial and you get found innocent or guilty. But if there's no ruling because there's no trial, you could be charged at any time. They may say, we're not going to charge you, but if new evidence comes out or they change their mind, they can do it. There's no double jeopardy until there's a ruling or a decision. You understand? But anyway, there's also an ethics investigation that's ongoing in the House. Plus, there's a pending lawsuit from one of the so-called victims. And I say so-called because I don't know if he did it or didn't do it. You are innocent until proven guilty in the eyes of the law, but he has not been found innocent because there's been no trial. That's different. People were trying to say, yeah, he did get found innocent. No, he didn't get found innocent. He was not tried, so you can't get found innocent, but you are presumed innocent. It's two different things. Anyway, why is Matt not in prison? Well, it's a lot of guys and girls, Hillary Clinton and others. Who else? Okay, well, put it to you like this. If you are Hunter Biden and you are a regular person, you be in prison, right? You have yourself on tape doing all kind of stuff. I mean, the crack with the pistol, that right there would be enough for the penitentiary. But since you're Hunter Biden and you're Joe Biden's son, you get a certain level of protection, a certain level of privilege. You could do whatever you want and it's fine. Joe Biden, same way. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, they could do a lot of things and get away with it. Remember, I played the video of the guy who Dick Cheney shot accidentally. The guy got on TV and apologized to Dick Cheney for being a distraction. I lie to you not. And for you guys who have not heard this story, here's what happened. So Dick Cheney, former vice president with, what was that? George W. Bush, I believe. Dick Cheney went, I think it was quail hunting with a friend of his. And he had some kind of bird shot in his gun. And he accidentally shot his friend in his head. Now, it wasn't a really, really, really bad injury, but it was bad enough. And the guy wound up going on TV because, of course, if you are the vice president and you shoot someone in their head, it's going to be a big story. The guy went on TV, had a press conference, and apologized to Dick Cheney for being a distraction because Dick Cheney shot him. So when you are on that level, you could do a lot of things and get away with it. That's just the long and short of that. These guys do all kind of stuff all the time. And we heard about Madison Cawthorn talking about certain things, some of these parties that go on. Listen, the parties that Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Diddy, is accused of having, it's regular everyday stuff on Capitol Hill. Regular everyday stuff. If you guys have not seen Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves and, who was that? Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino, please watch it. That is an accurate representation of Washington, D.C. Very accurate. That's how it is. People jogging around with their dogs and whatnot really be evil, and you would never know. But anyway, I'm getting off the track. The point is that Matt Gaetz got caught up in a sex scandal. There was an ethics probe, and McCarthy says the reason why Matt Gaetz has an axe to grind against him and got him out of the office is because McCarthy refused to end the probe. But McCarthy was like, look, the probe started before I came in there. The probe started like before this the most recent time that he got elected. So what you want me to do? But anyway, let's check this out.
You made a lot of concessions in the negotiations.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Okay, is that
Let's get to the bottom of that. Right? That is such a misnomer in life. Let me give you the truth about that now. And I'll give you the truth why I'm not speaker. It's because one person, a member of Congress, wanted me to stop an ethics complaint because he slept with a 17-year-old. An ethics complaint that started before I ever became speaker, and that's illegal, and I'm not going to get in the middle.
Now, let's pause right here. Matt Gaetz has admitted, because the whole thing was there was paper trails, right? He was giving these girls money. Now, Matt Gaetz said, yeah, I gave some of the girls money, but they were my girlfriends. You see? So what it boils down to is, okay, you were paying these girls, you were going to hotels, meeting up with them, but how was one of them a minor? That's the thing. If the girls were over the age of 18, then you wouldn't even know about it because everybody does that. But the minor part, that's where he's messing up. And that's what could get him in trouble. And that is why he allegedly, Matt Gaetz, was trying to get a pardon from President Trump when Trump was leaving. So it could be like one of those Hunter Biden pardons. Remember they had the Hunter Biden plea deal? And in the plea deal, they were like, okay, put the gun in there, put the cocaine in there, and there might be another charge. So put a future charge in there as well. And the judge saw that and was like, a future charge? Really? A get out of jail free card for some random unnamed crime? No, thank you. That was the same thing that Matt Gaetz tried to do allegedly from Trump, trying to get a preemptive pardon for the sex crime, allegedly.
Did he do it or not? I don't know. But ethics is looking at it. There's other people in jail because of it. And he wanted me to influence it. And you know what? So then they come out and they say, because I kept government open. I'd do it all over again. We're not going to pay our troops? No, I'm going to pay my troops. You can't do the job? Okay. When it comes to the concession, the motion to vacate about one person being able to make that motion, how long has that been in the rules? Forever. The only time it was changed is when Pelosi became speaker the second time. And she put the power with the minority leader. I think it's wrong. I think you let them govern. Now, it takes 218 to have the rule package. There's nothing I can do there. But I had 5 people who never voted for me anyways in the process. I had 8 at the end that did the other. But everybody had to live by it. I lived by it. I think today, if you went back to the people that vote, if they think that was a smart vote, I don't think so.
Now, Matt Gaetz is married, but he got married in 21 after the ethics complaint and the allegations are already made. The allegations are out there when Trump was in office. He got married after Trump left in, I think, September or so, 21. Yeah, so he just got married kind of recently here. All this happened allegedly before he got married. All right, so that's kind of what's going on with Matt Gaetz. That's the reason why he doesn't like McCarthy. That's the reason why, allegedly, he was the last person to hold out in the 15 rounds of voting. Everybody else, look, you got 200 and what was at the time, 18 Republicans in office in the House. And it was only 8 people really that was in between McCarthy and being the next speaker. 200 I think it might have been 213. 213 Republicans said yay. And the rest, 218, 221, whatever it was, said nay. But 95% of the Republicans said, let's get McCarthy back. The other small percent said, no, get him out of here. Then they bring in Mike Jones, Mike Johnson, Mike Jones, Mike, whatever. They bring him in there, and he's no different. He's actually worse than McCarthy. Milquetoast at best. Okay, a nice guy, vacuum door-to-door salesman at best. Not a good speaker at all. So then you got to ask yourself, was all that worth it? And then McCarthy has resigned from Congress. So now we have fewer Republicans in the House for even slimmer majority. And then we don't even have the Senate or the White House, but whatever. So that's what's going on. That's the reason McCarthy says that he was ousted. It's because of a personal beef between him and Matt Gaetz. That's all that it is. All right. Well, it does matter. People saying who cares? It does matter. People talking about, well, it's a distraction. There's more important things. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. I promise you can. You can talk about one topic and then another one and another one and another one. It's not just one topic at a time you focus on. You focus on multiple things at once. So you have more than one news story. When you're watching the news, it's not just one story that they cover. They cover a variety of stories. You know what I mean? And then the thing is, one of Matt Gaetz' associates went to prison over this. 11 years in the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rock. So it's not a small thing. It's not just gossip. You got guys that are going to jail. Matt Gaetz is not out of the woods. There's still an ongoing ethics investigation. There's a pending lawsuit, and he might get charged if in the ethics investigation or the lawsuit, new information comes out and they find enough to actually charge him. That's kind of how that goes. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, speaking about the economy, speaking about what's happening in these streets, let's head to Chicago right quick and see what's happening on the streets with regular citizens. You know, if you're a migrant, you might get better treatment, of course, because, you know, Americans, who cares, right? You're a regular American citizen. You might be a veteran or whatever. Who cares about you? If you're on the streets, homeless, no resources, no family, friends, dealing with addiction, who cares? But if you're a migrant, yeah, you get whatever you want. Halal food, beautiful hotel, nice scenery right by Central Park in New York. But here's Chicago. Check this out. All right, here we go.
Isn't it odd that the homeless citizens of Chicago are put on the streets in these tents, while the people who broke into America illegally are put in the high-rise hotels in the city of downtown Chicago? Isn't it odd that the homeless citizens of Chicago are put on the streets in these tents, while the people who broke into America illegally are put in the high-rise hotels in the city of downtown Chicago?
Now, my question is, how are you able to actually live in tents on the street in Chicago? How does that really happen? Because it's cold and it snows, and if it's raining, any kind of weather, you're just not really in a good place to be. But that's what's happening. And you're starting to see a lot more of these tents all over the place in a lot of these big cities. You're seeing it, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia. I saw some a little bit in Atlanta. I saw a lot on the left coast. LA, people love LA. I hate it. It sucks so bad. It's so ghetto and tents everywhere. You're getting it to the point of, some third world country type stuff where you have tents right next to the skyscrapers. That's what's happening. You see that a lot of times in Mumbai. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can show you some of the Mumbai stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's really wild. Yeah, it's one ultra rich versus ultra poor. Yeah, I'm gonna show that right quick. I ain't gonna show too much, but I'm gonna just show you the level that we're talking about here. All right, let's not have the music in the background, please. Don't give me no copyright. Let me see if I can find you a good comparison.
Top of like Michael Kors, Jimmy Choo, top of them.
In total,
so here's like a slum area right here, obviously.
Imran employs around 40 members of staff to tan and color the leather.
Fair use, please.
Imran's father, Wahaz, is the man behind this incredible success. 40 years ago, Wahaz fled Uttar Pradesh, a poverty-stricken region in northern India, with dreams of a
hey twin. All right, looking just like me.
Better life in Mumbai.
हमने बहुत मेहनत किया है ऐसा था हम ये हाथ दर्द करते थे.
And you see the conditions right here in the actual slums.
रात भर नींद नहीं आता था. मैं बहुत गरीब आदमी था. गांव से आया था.
Now he came from nothing to make it out
of this modern high.
Now you see there's a high rise right there, slums right there. You see the difference.
Rise building located in the middle of a shanty town. They paid $360,000 for this 750 square foot space with breathtaking views of the city.
This is a master bedroom.
Much different. And you're going to see that kind of thing happening right now in the USA. That's happening right now. So the difference between what they're going through is that the slum, that's just there. And people are rising from the slum and they're creating better environments. In the US, it's like people are kind of going backwards. They're going the other direction. You're going from nicer spots to, more slummy areas. The slums are being built around nice areas. It's kind of like the reverse of what's happening. USA in the making. That's exactly right. So shout out to India. Shout out to all the Indians. Good people. Yeah, the conditions over there, we're starting to see it right here in the USA. Now, this is New York City.
New York City.
All right, let's check it out.
City is the homeless capital of America with over 90,000 homeless people and 150,000 plus migrants.
These people in competition in any way to the local homeless population?
We come with an attitude of abundance, that there's enough for all.
Does New York have any space left?
We're done. No, we're full. The homeless population here in New York City are being thrown to the side.
We're about to see how many homeless people are sleeping in the subway. You sleeping out here tonight? Do you get booted out of here when you try to sleep?
Mostly every day. He's telling them, look, it's time to go. He's looking in the trash can for food. It's like the Walking Dead at times. They'll start coming down more and more.
People just doing their best to get some rest out here. But why are there no homeless people camping above ground? There's no benches. This lady right here just standing. We found a bench finally. The catch is, I would have severe back pain. The modern bench.
Oh yeah, the way that it's designed up here. See, what's happening in New York, they're trying to keep the problem away from the streets. Okay, it's like, all right, y'all just go down there, if anything. But see, these benches are designed where you can't sleep on it. That's like what they say, anti-homeless design. Yeah, you have these bars in the center of it, and they might say it's like an armrest. No. That's to prevent you from being able to lay on it, which is smart.
Severe back pain. The modern bench. You lay down at a 45-degree acute angle.
So that's a bench right there. It's like a leaning pad. That's crazy.
spike designed to keep you from popping a squat. Oh, this is the worst of the worst right here. It's not cozy.
They've got shelters, but the shelters are so overrun now, and they're so dangerous.
We're listening to this police radio. Apparently 8 people are running from the cops right now after a robbery. Plan us to jump out and film this?
We're gonna film it. Stay behind me so you don't get shot.
So that's what's happening out there in New York City. Hey, if you guys like it, that's fine. But me personally, I'm good on that kind of living. I'm good on that. Yeah, it's warmer downstairs, exactly. Because again, New York City getting cold too. But then check it out. If you got homeless people living in the subway system, I mean, do you want to go down there too? Like you go into somebody's house and they may not keep a clean house. They may be kind of a little unkept, a little filthy. I don't want to go into your filthy home. I want to just be in a more clean environment. Yeah, I'm good. Hail Mary says, I felt this coming to San Francisco. It will turn into Rio. Absolutely. It's happening. People take things for granted. People take their life and the things their creature comforts for granted because certain countries have gone from really doing well, like a Cuba, for example. Prime example, Cuba, at one point, when they said that was a jewel of the Caribbean, now look at it. Things can change. Things are not guaranteed. This is America, yes, but there's some things happening right now in America that I never thought I would see. I never thought I would see open air crack smoke and heroin use in America, but here we are. Here we are, just like right in the middle of downtown in the daytime. I never thought I would see that. You see that kind of thing in some of these bad neighborhoods, but not just out in the open in the street like, hey, yeah, I'm smoking crack right here. But, hey, now they give you the tools to be able to do it. Now, speaking of San Francisco, on the Bay Bridge, a driver got carjacked after accidentally hitting another car. So this might be a takeover or something like that, one of these street races. Let's see what's going on.
Let me get yours. Yeah, me personally, I'm not getting smashed. That's just me though. Get the fuck out. Get out.
And then they carjacking them. That's what's happening. Lawlessness. That's what's going on. Lawlessness on the Bay Bridge. Where's the police? Where's any kind of law enforcement? Hey, don't worry about it because, hey, no big deal. Just having a good time, letting off some steam. You know, somebody got carjacked on the bridge after a takeover. Everybody's out there with their phones. It's all fun. It's all fun and games. That's what's happening. But that's how society will degrade very quickly when there's no law enforcement that are able to do their job. Now, one thing you also have in San Francisco is really, really dirty environments. The bathrooms and whatnot are pretty much non-existent. Where the bathrooms exist, you just go outside. You just right there on the ground. Do whatever you want to do right there on the floor. Now, this is in Paris, France. Now, the caption here says, self-cleaning toilet in Paris, France. And someone said they need that in San Francisco. Do you think this machine, this contraption would last in San Francisco? You know what I think? I think by the first day, some bum will be in there and living in there. That'd be his house. But let's see how it operates. So there's music, but I'll turn the music down. Won't need the music. So the toilet bowl goes in, and then I guess it cleans in there, and then they have water that sprays out on the ground to clean that as well. So looks very, very economical. I wonder how long it takes to dry on the floor. Then the toilet comes back out, nice and clean, doors open, and that's how it goes. Now, do you guys think that this contraption would last in San Francisco? I don't know. It seems pretty intuitive. It seems pretty, pretty cool. But I could just imagine right now somebody would commandeer that and make that be their hotel. Water or no water on the ground, don't make it work. When you have things like this, you got to have people that are able to respect it and use it properly. But if you don't have that, then it's not going to really be effective. It's a sink right there. Like, it's kind of a fisheye lens. So right next to the toilet, there's a sink. Now, I don't know how the sink is being cleaned, but there is a sink and it's not moving when the toilet moves. So I don't know how that really works. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, you got to be able to use things properly and respect your environment. You got to respect it. All right. And let's keep on rocking and rolling. Speaking about roads and road takeovers. Now, I was watching this and I was hoping that my man would just put the pedal to the metal, gun it, because at a certain point, you can't do stuff like this. Stopping the roads, these climate protesters just like, yo, what are we doing? Why would you sit on the ground and intentionally get in the way of a bus, 18-wheeler, motorcycle, SUV, truck, sedan, four-wheeler, any kind of motor vehicle? Why would you sit on the road and get in the way? Stop. All I hear is seagulls. And look, I'm fresh out of fish. All I got is pedal to the metal. So get on about the way. And look at Zerazim's book bag. No human is illegal. Yes, some humans are illegal. Maybe you are, Zerazim. That hairstyle is illegal. How about that? The music is killing me though. Who put the music on this? So yeah, if it was me, man, look, at a certain point, I'm vroom, vroom, pedal to the metal. You're going to feel all cylinders, all them horses, they going to hit you. That's just, or if you don't want to feel that, just get up off my car. At a certain point, it's called false imprisonment. If I'm not able to go forward to get to my destination, you're imprisoning me. Hey, I'm on the phone. Yo, authorities, can I please gun it? Because I got some morons, some mouth breathers getting in the way. And I got somewhere to be. So what's up? What we gonna do? So yeah, shout out to them. All right, let's keep on moving here. Now, this situation, David Hogg reposted this. David Hogg, super woke leftist. He says, when everyone is armed and this is the America we will have, not one where we are safer, but one where otherwise no lethal situations like road rage. What do you mean? Road rage is quite often lethal. What are you talking about, sir? But he says no or non-lethal situations like road rage or someone knocking the wrong door or a bar fight become lethal. Okay, so what happened here is somebody got out of their car, blocked this red car, and was approaching the red car's window. So check it out. Before we watch it, what do you think is appropriate or one thing you could do in this situation? You're driving your red car, your Jeep or whatever. You're driving, somebody's in front of you. They stop in front of you so you can't go forward. They get out and they approach you and your driver's side window. What do you think could happen right here? All right, let's check it out. And I got trigger warning. It's going to get a little bit spicy real quick. Nothing crazy, but if you don't like guns pointed at you, please don't look at the actual video.
Get in your car! Look at this. Look at this shit. Hang on, I got to get this license plate. Get in your car! Pointed a fucking gun at me. Look at this shit. You're going right. I'm going right to the fucking.
So it's like, why are you stopping in front of my car? What are you doing? Like, why are you out of your car? Get back in your car. What he said to you was right. Right here in this moment, get in your car. Just take heed. Get in your car. Don't approach me. Don't touch me. Get back in your car and let's go back to where we got to go. All right. It's just as simple as that. That's all that it is to it. Now, somebody says, I didn't tell the full story about Gates. Well, what am I missing about Gates and McCarthy? You tell me the full story. What more is it to know? But anyway, yeah. Road rage, listen, man, stay in your car, mind your business. You got a problem? Look, every day I'm on the road and I see somebody doing something dumb. People can't drive. They get over late, or they want to get in front of me and go slow, or they want to ride my hind parts and I'm already going 85 on the interstate. Listen, if you are riding my hind parts and I'm already going 88 miles an hour on 75 north, check it out. I'll move over. I'm not trying to get in an accident. I'm not trying to get into the road rage. You got it. Go ahead, big dog. Whatever you got to do, wherever you got to go, you can go ahead and go for it. I'm not going to get in the way of your progress. All right. I'm not trying to have no problems. I don't want no smoke. We out here on these streets. I'm not trying to provoke nothing. Now, if you come to my door for some random reason, when I did everything to prevent it, well, hey, man, may the Lord be with you. That's all I got to say. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Now, check this out. Here's a good question from this guy. And I've posted him quite a few times before. This guy is very smart. I'm going to tell his story again. You probably have seen this guy doing quick little videos on TikTok, Instagram, or whatever, asking questions about policies and things of this nature that's happening in this country. But what he does ultimately is promote his dating app. He has a dating app called Date Right Stuff. And the whole point is to get conservatives on the dating app. That's the whole point of these videos, because that's his name of his actual accounts. I'm not promoting him as an ad. I'm just saying that's what it is. So when you see this guy, understand that's what he's doing.
Los Angeles is run exclusively by Democrats, and they're the ones that say they're going to clean up the environment. Los Angeles is run exclusively by Democrats, and they're the ones that say they're going to clean up the environment.
That's a really good point, though. It's like, okay, you got all these Democrats in California on the left coast talking about, yeah, we're going to be cleaning their environment. We're going to be environmentalists. If you're environmentalist, I can't tell. You let all this garbage and everything just pile on the streets. You're going to have rodents everywhere. Like New York. New York got some of the same things going on where you have garbage on the ground. That's one thing that really shocked me when I saw New York was how you guys keep garbage on the ground, like in bags or just out for the dumpster to take up. Yeah, we don't, I guess you have no choice because of the density and how old the city is. You know, where I'm at, we got things called dumpsters, or we got, you know, individual garbage cans in front of our houses or something like that. Just leaving garbage right there on the ground in the big bag. That's not a thing. All right. That's not a thing. But I understand in a place like New York, that has to happen. But LA is a teeny bit more spread out. So why do we have all this garbage on the ground? But then those people will be the same ones who say we're going to fix their environment. How are you going to fix their environment where you got streets full of trash? Like, what's really going on? And I saw somebody's comment earlier. Somebody's comment earlier said the automatic bathroom cleaner in San Fran is Rain. Hilarious. Very, very good one. Perfect timing as well. Shout out to you, whoever said that. You get 5 gold stars for that comment. Let's keep on moving here. All right. Now, we got a bunch of illegal aliens swarming New York City, Penn Station. Check it out. I mean, at a certain point, it's like you get in the entire world to come to your city, your sanctuary city, right? Why? Like, what's the problem? You want everybody, right? How long can you keep this going? Because it's not going to stop. As long as the border's open, it's not going to stop. They're going to keep coming. This same scene will play itself out over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until you say, you know what? No more. Enough. Let's put it into it. How you going to put it into it? Well, 2 things. Stop being a sanctuary city in New York City and stop being a sanctuary state in New York State. And also lobby the government to say, shut the border down, build the wall, have more border patrol. No more of this asylum and the no. Go back over there because you cannot keep this. I'll turn the volume down, but you can kind of see what's going on. You cannot keep all this stuff up. It's just way too many people. Look at this. You're looking like China right now with all these people. Everybody's waving and happy. Yay, thumbs up, America. That's what's happening right now. These are all migrants, all of them. They came from Texas to New Jersey first, and then they went to New York City. Now, people are going to say, oh, let's blame Texas governor. Why blame him? The border is a federal responsibility. Why blame the governor for what's happening? He's trying to do his best to keep the border closed while the Fed keeping it open. So you got to blame the federales. And, of course, they're going to the Roosevelt Hotel for processing, quote-unquote processing. Okay, they're going there. But they were sent to New Jersey first. Why couldn't it stay in Jersey? Because everybody knows the Big Apple is where it's at. They want to get a bite of the Big Apple. That's what they want. Before they leave their country of origin, they know where they're going. They have a destination. They're not just going to the border aimlessly. They have a route. They know who has the money, who has the resources, who has the rooms, who has the space. They know where their cousin and their aunties and their uncles and their meemaws are already at. That's what's happening. All right. So, yeah, they're all over the place. They're all over the place. And you're going to see that same scene over and over and over because they're not doing anything to stop it. They're pretty much inviting them there. Eric Adams can complain about it all day long, but he's not doing anything to stop it. So who cares about what he's saying? Nobody cares about what he's saying at all. All right, let's keep on going here. We got a few more things to get into. This is Rob Schneider. Let's see what he's talking about. And let's get some sound. And
it's now suddenly turned to not be the party of the Democrats now suddenly turned to not be the party of the people. Now they're the party of forever wars, and they're the party of censorship. And there's a direct proof now, thanks to Elon Musk buying Twitter for $44 billion. That's a nice little thing to do on the weekend. Is that you can see that there's actual, talk about collusion with Russia. We have collusion, First Amendment, and of course the Justice Department will do nothing about it. But there's proof that the United States government colluded and told social media what they wanted to do. And that's a direct violation of Americans' First Amendment rights. The Democrats now suddenly turned to not be the party of the people. Now they're the party of forever wars, and they're the party of censorship. And there's a direct proof now, thanks to Elon Musk buying Twitter for $44 billion. That's a nice little thing to do on the weekend. Is that you can see that there's actual, talk about collusion with Russia. We have collusion, First Amendment, and of course the Justice Department will do nothing about it. But there's proof that the United States government colluded and told social media what they wanted to do. And that's a direct violation of Americans' First Amendment rights.
Right on point, 100%. Shout out to Rob Schneider for keeping it all the way real. All the way real. I mean, couldn't say it no better myself. Now, this, I've not seen this one yet, but I want to watch it with you guys. Shout out to my man, Right Wing Angel, for the original post. And shout out to Clown World for reposting it. This says, host refuses to back down after non-binary, quote-unquote, guest gets triggered by correct grammar. All right, let's watch this one. I've not seen it yet. I want to watch it live with you guys.
Good afternoon, Julia. Thanks. You know my pronouns are they, them. How are you doing?
Yeah. Thank you for telling me your pronouns. I use correct grammar. So the only thing I would need to refer you to is to your face would be you. But I'm not being rude. You can choose your pronouns. You can choose what you want to call yourself, but you don't get to require me to use incorrect grammar and factually incorrect things. You're not a plural. You're a one person, and you're a female person. So I will use she and her. Thank you very much.
Do what you like, I guess.
Well, there you are. You didn't need to tell me then, did you?
Maybe I'm just making sure people know in case they're watching and they want to refer to me respectfully.
Is it disrespectful for me to use correct factual grammar?
It's not incorrect or unfactual grammar to use singular they them pronouns for an individual.
Singular they them pronouns for an individual. What? Like, we're going back to what I was talking about earlier. We got to teach grown people about things that we learned as children. Okay? Them. We're talking about, like, we got to get back to C-Spot Run, Clifford the Big Red Dog, the Bernstein Bears. We got to go back to that with these grown people. I mean, what in the world's going on? Am I tripping, or must we go back to the basics with these people?
But we're here to talk about the cast review.
Yeah, but you chose to bring it up.
You chose to use the incorrect pronouns for me.
I chose to use the correct pronouns for a single woman who is appearing on my show.
I'm not a single woman, though. I'm a very special non-binary trans person.
What? You're not a single woman. What? Do I see more than one person? You got voices in your head. You got somebody talking at you that we can't see. Some kind of invisible. You got an imaginary friend that you with that's part of you as well. Hold on. Can we go back? I'm not a single woman. Is that what she said? Hold on.
They them pronouns for an individual. But we're here to talk about the cast review.
Yeah, but you chose to bring it up.
You chose to use the incorrect pronouns for me.
I chose to use the correct pronouns for a single woman who is appearing on my show.
I'm not a single woman, though. I'm a very special non-binary trans person, as you just pointed out. I
didn't
really
just point that out.
from the crowd.
I didn't just point that out. I introduced you as a journalist and a Virgin Radio presenter.
No, just before I came on, you were talking about how people with all these labels like to be special. And I'm just making sure that everyone knows I'm special.
Okay, I'm not special. I'm just a boring old heterosexual married woman. But, you know, sorry about that. We're not allowed to do that anymore. In fact, that probably does make me special now. I don't know.
One day I gave Clifford a bath. See, one day I gave Clifford a bath because Clifford is one dog, right? There you go. Big red dog. Okay. Clifford and I started home. We felt very bad. Because I have a dog. So it's me and Clifford. It's two entities. We felt very bad. Everything had gone wrong. Suddenly a car came speeding past. Not with the guns out. That's crazy. You can't put that in the book anymore, can you? Yeah, so I guess we're gonna cancel Clifford the Big Red Dog because we have proper pronouns and we have some of these mob guys down here with the guns. All right, so a basic children's book can no longer be used. And shout out to bro with the super hairy hand. Like, you could have left that out. You know, give your arm a shake before you try to put stuff in the picture. But anyway, yeah, we got to go back to that type of stuff. But unfortunately, that might get canceled as well. I wish they would try to cancel Clifford the Dog. And then they got books that show full-on graphic stuff you shouldn't see at all in your life, but you see it right there in the children's book. That's crazy. So yeah, shout out to Clifford and shout out to the special person. Yeah, she might be a little bit special in a different kind of way. You might be touched a little teeny bit mentally. But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, Uncle ABL English 101. Let's go back to kindergarten right quick and learn a little bit of what's going on. Now, speaking about language, the term 100% is racist according to the ADL. I think the ADL says this. Let's watch some of this, shall we? Let's check it out. All right, and let's put it on the screen.
Honestly cannot make this crap up. The Anti-Defamation League, totally not biased at all, now says that 100% as a phrase is a hate symbol. Why, you might ask? Apparently, saying 100% colloquially is shorthand among white supremacists and is therefore hate speech and basically needs to be outlawed from society. Of course, they'll wait until the very end of their little dissertation on why 100% is white supremacy to tell you that most uses of the phrase are not, in fact, white supremacist in nature. Meanwhile, last year, the Ontario Mathematics Association in Canada actually said in a webinar that there's abundant white supremacy in math, including that 2 + 2 = 4 as a phrase is covert white supremacy.
What?
I always hated math and was never very good at it. So does that mean now that I'm actually a really good person?
Okay. Oh, I gotta just get myself together. There's a lot I want to say, but first, shout out to King Chris. King Chris says, "Isn't that what you got in trouble for in college, ABL? Art guns?" Yes, yes, it is what I got in trouble for. So if you guys don't know that story, just quickly, because my man King Chris brought it up. When I was in college, I had transferred from a community college. I graduated from a community college. I had an associate's degree, and I was going to Old Dominion to continue into my bachelor's. And I was always a graphic designer. I was always into art. So that was my program. And they told me, hey, if you finish your program at TCC, the community college, you can go to ODU, the 4-year college, and everything will transfer. It'll be seamless, just 2 more years. You in and out, save money, blah, 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 blah. That was a lie. When I went to ODU, a lot of classes weren't available, and I needed the class that was called Art 3. The way they did it, you had to be on campus and all kind of weird stuff. Typically, you would take Art 1 your freshman year, Art 2 sophomore year, and Art 3 a junior. But since I was a transfer, I'd be classified as a junior, so I would take Art 3. And I needed to, they wanted an entrance art piece to get admitted into Art 3. I was told that it was automatic, already graduated with an associate's degree. I got straight A's in my art classes. I was one of the best. I was the best art student in my class, except for a lady who was already in advertising, and she was like 40 years old with kids and everything else. I'm like 19, 20. But anyway, I was already talented. I've been talented my whole life in art. I get here, I do my project that I shouldn't have done to get into Art 3. And then these 2 gay white dudes who were the gatekeepers of the program, who were married to each other at the time, back in 2006, 7, they saw my project and were like, well, we're not very comfortable with the guns and we're not comfortable. It's a, what? That wasn't part of the requirements. You couldn't put guns in the, so they rejected my entrance into Art 3, and they just told me I couldn't even redo it. I'm like, you know what? All right, I see what's going on right now. I see what's happening. Like, y'all trying to like box the transfers out. Y'all don't like anybody that has any kind of independent thought. Y'all don't like people that are really, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna just go do my own thing and stay over there. Yeah. So to the gay white dudes that took me out of Art 3, thank you for not making me spend any more money at your ridiculous college that was trying to rob me barefaced with no pistol anyway. I'm getting triggered. That's a trauma in my memory. I'm getting triggered. So yeah, shout out to them though. But can we go back here? Let's read some of this. So it says 100 is shorthand among white supremacists for 100% white, though it is also common for them to write out the entire phrase. Among prison populations in places such as California, where Peckerwood gangs are common, I'm not saying that as a term, I'm reading this. One might also see 100 Peckerwood or 100% Featherwood or 100% wood. Really? I mean, so is the term wood now offensive? All right, I need to go get some 2x4s from Home Depot and they made of wood. Now, am I a racist? That's crazy. But anyway, let's go to this right here. So it says for the math thing, covert white supremacy, somewhat acceptable in math education. And the phrase she was referring to is, of course, math is neutral because 2 + 2 is 4. The dumbest thing in the world. Anyway, so yeah, shout out to math being racist. Shout out to guns being racist. Oh, in my art project, basically what it was, hold on. Boggs Chip says I had a gay instructor in art school who plagiarized my work. That's crazy. That is nuts. I mean, what in the world? Out of this world. But the art project I had, I've been trying to find it because it was digital. Because I'm a graphic designer. It was a bunch of like 2D art, like Super Mario Brothers, like pixel art. I did a bunch of pixel art, and it was various stuff. I had like the Bob-ombs from Mario. I had some of the Mario characters. I had some little like toy gun. It was all toys. It wasn't even realistic. It was like pixel art, but it was very well done. I drew it with my mouse in Illustrator. It was all vector, no raster images. You could blow it up to a billboard and it'd be crystal clear. It was a beautiful project. One of my best I've ever done. And my man told me, or both of them told me, freaking frat, dumber thing 1 and thing 2. Okay, they told me that the guns in the project were offensive. Therefore, I was not going to be able to get into Art 3. We're not comfortable. I'm like, all right, don't worry about it. Never mind. You good. You got it. Anyway, here's something from McDonald's. Have you guys seen the $25 deal from McDonald's? I think at this point, McDonald's, KFC, etc., depending upon where you live, is considered fine dining. Listen, the chef's getting paid $20 an hour. You paying an arm and a leg, firstborn child for the meal. I think that McDonald's should be considered fine dining. Dudes, I've been trying to find that project for years. I can't find it. I had it in an email, but I don't know where it is. If I find it, I'll show you guys, but I don't know where it's at. I probably deleted it because I was going through some things back then. You know, I had one of those big portfolios you see. Hold on, I'm going to show you what I had, and then I'm going to get right back to the video. If you like what you heard so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. I'm going to show you the scale of it so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Yeah, so basically, it was like this. So if you guys know about art portfolios, you know what I'm talking about. So I was in art school. I'm like 19, 20. I had an art portfolio. I had an art, it's like a bag, basically, but it's a portfolio. It's a thin piece. You carry it along with you. It's about that size or bigger. You could put in 24 by 36, 13, 19, you know, regular stuff. I had everything. I had my some of my medium in there. I had some of my pencils. You could do I had a scrimshaw tool in there. I had everything in there. I had some pieces I had done, and because all that stuff happened with the gay dudes, and then I was just kind of getting frustrated with what was going on in college. I had my portfolio. I just left it by the locker, and I just walked away. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I just left it in the hallway. I like, nah, I'm straight. So maybe at the same time, I might have had a USB with the project on it, and I might have put that in there too. You know, because when you go to art school, or at least when I went to art school, you had to do like visual art and the graphic design too. So you would do the computer stuff and the actual physical media. So I did all of that. But I was so frustrated because they were so fake and phony, and they were robbing me barefaced, no pistol. I left all that stuff behind. And I decided just to go do my own thing and not follow their rules. Yeah, I was hot. I was fire truck red, pistol. I'm talking about eyes burnt from the solar eclipse with no glasses, hot. Oh boy, I was hot. And I was young too. I'm like 20, man, please. Anyway, let's keep on moving. Back to McDonald's being fine dining.
McDonald's now has a $25 deal that is going viral on social media, and fast food lovers are not loving it.
It's $25.39 for 40-piece nuggets and 2 large fries. You couldn't even throw in the Sprite. You couldn't even throw in like a medium Sprite.
Wait a minute. Wait. So look, okay, a 40-piece nugget is $25.39. Okay, and the bundle includes 4 10-piece nuggets, spicy or regular, and 2 large fries. But they don't even give you no drink with it. You don't even get a drink. A drink, you can't even throw in a Sprite, 1 Sprite. You can't even throw in like 2 drinks. That's crazy. And I wonder how much the Sprites cost.
Medium Sprite.
The TikToker, who is located in Southern California, couldn't get over that a 40-piece chicken McNugget meal with 2 large fries and no drink would cost roughly $27. Social media users pointed to the recent legislation in California that increased the minimum wage for fast food workers from $16 to $20, so these prices are the new normal. While this meal is designed to serve 4 people, it demonstrates how prices at fast food restaurants have risen over the years. A recent study by Finance Buzz found that McDonald's prices have increased by 100% since 2014. 10 years ago, the average price of a 10-piece McNugget meal was $5.99. Now the meal usually goes for $10.99. McDonald's now has a...
Like I said, McDonald's at this point is fine dining. By the time, look, if you go to McDonald's and you get the 40 nuggets and drinks and all that good stuff, little cheesecake for the dessert, something like that, you spending $40. I mean, at this point, they might as well bring in the hookah and the DJ, make it be a Club McDonald's. Why not? I mean, you paying an arm and a leg, and you didn't even pay taxes yet. Hold on. So that's $25.39, but you didn't even pay taxes yet. So, you know what I mean? You still got kind of quite a ways to go. By the time you get some drinks, let's say you get 4 drinks and taxes, you're paying $40. Almost close to it, at least. Now, speaking about inflation, let's look at how much inflation has gone up ever since Biden came in office.
This just in, inflation is headed in the wrong direction right now. The latest consumer price report just out shows prices up 3.5%. This over same time last year. CNN's Rahel Solomon just looking through it all, just running into the studio to help us out. What are you seeing in this?
Hey, Kate. So, yeah, you put it pretty well there that this is moving in the wrong direction. So 3.5% on an annual basis. To put that in context, that is hotter than what we were expecting and certainly hotter than we saw the month prior.
This just in, inflation is headed in the wrong direction right now. The latest consumer price report just out shows prices up 3.5%. This over same time last year. CNN's Rahel.
And I think that we're definitely starting this. We definitely see it. And some things may be higher than others. I think that might be the average, I suppose. I'm not sure how they get in that number, but some things are higher than others. And I don't see it going down at all anytime soon. You know, one thing that doesn't happen, inflation happens. When you see inflation, you rarely see a dip. It always goes up and up and up and up and up and up and up. That's kind of how it goes. And it just becomes the permanent thing. It becomes a permanent thing. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let me see if I can show you something right quick. So this is Uber and Lyft leaving Minneapolis because of a wage hike.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry is trying to get Uber and Lyft to stay in the market after the companies vowed to leave on May 1st because of a new city law requiring them to boost driver pay. Today, he brought together tourism and airport leaders, as well as groups representing people with disabilities and the elderly, all concerned over the impact of Uber and Lyft leaving and calling on the city council to reconsider the ordinance they passed last month. That could happen at this Thursday's council meeting.
Over the next 3 months, we're expecting 75,000 visitors and over 175,000 room nights booked in our hotels. These guests need to be able to move about Minneapolis and the Twin Cities easily and safely.
Councilmember Robin Wansley co-authored the ordinance. Today, she responded to a request for comment, saying in part, "I'm excited to welcome the many new rideshare companies who are ready to build a more just and stable economy and pay drivers the Minneapolis minimum."
It's dumb, though, because it's the same thing that's happening in California. It's like, okay, you're raising the minimum wage, but if there's no companies that are going to pay it, then there's two things. The drivers are out of luck because they don't have that income that they were getting, and there's nobody that's going to be able to move around. So why would I go to a place where I know I can't get Uber, Lyft, or anything like that? I pretty much just be out here trying to thumb it, having some random dope fiend pick me up in his Buick LeSabre. I don't want that. I want Uber, Lyft. I want to be tracked. I want the security a little bit. I want that. I don't want this. Nobody wants this except for those who don't understand business at all. That's a problem. These people don't understand what they're doing. They just do stuff. They do things they think they do things that make them feel good, but they don't do things that are actually appropriate. They don't do things that are economically correct. All right. Now, speaking about random dope fiends picking you up, well, not really dope fiends. Remember, there was a time where you could drink and drive. Some things they do, some laws they make, okay, they make sense. Some laws they make don't make sense. Sometimes lawmakers have a good purpose, but at one point you could drink and drive. Now, you probably have seen this interview before, but I'm going to show it to you again. This is from the 80s. This is Americans reacting to the new law that says no more drinking and driving. All right, check it out. And throw it on the screen.
Any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting common is when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be calm in this country.
Well, I mean, she wasn't really wrong about that, about the communist country part. She wasn't really wrong about that. They said this is in the 1980s, maybe even the 70s, probably 80s, early 80s. But yeah, now back then, I'm not quite sure if a lot of things were invented. Do we have airbags, anti-lock brakes? There's a lot of things we have nowadays in modern vehicles that help with safety. Backup cameras, GPS, all that kind of stuff built in, lane departure assist, all that kind of stuff we have in modern cars. But back then, hey man, crack open a few beers, drive your truck, seatbelt optional. She had a seatbelt on right there, but at one point, it was no seatbelts. You were drinking and driving, smoking cigarettes, all of that in your car. All right, but a lot of those things you don't really do anymore. I mean, you can smoke in your car if you want to, but back in the day, it was like presumed you would smoke in your car. You had the ashtray in the back seat, on the back of your seat, and on the armrest, center console, all of that. Okay, seatbelts at a certain point were on your vehicle. You could do pretty much whatever you wanted. A lot more freedom. Yep, and that's right, dudes. Cars were also American metal. Now these cars, plastic, you know, and don't get me started on the electric vehicles. Oh my goodness. Electric vehicles, I mean, good RP to your garage if you get a fire in your lithium ion battery randomly. RP to your house. Yeah, that's going to be a wrap. Now I know ICE, internal combustion engine vehicles can catch on fire, but those lithium ion fires are a whole different breed. They got to put out a special sheet to cover it because you can't just douse it like a regular fire. That's just not how it's going to work. So yeah, it's crazy. No car seats. That's right. Cigarette lighter, no car seats. Change in the air says most cars were not made with seat belts. Yeah. Yep, you can smoke on the airplane. I remember that. You can smoke in the doctor's office. You can smoke everywhere. You can smoke in the, like, I remember restaurants. You can smoke in the restaurant, wherever. I remember at one point, restaurants, you could smoke anywhere. Then it was only a certain section. And now I rarely ever see a restaurant with a smoking section. I thought that was kind of like, that might have been kind of recent. You had smoking sections. Maybe in certain parts of the country, you still have that. Like they have outside. If you got like a little outside area, that's kind of, you got a door that goes inside, but really the seating area is outside. So in a spot like that, you might be able to smoke. But inside a restaurant, no smoking. Nope. In the malls, that's right. Everywhere. Big Jam Roll says buses still don't have seatbelts. That's correct. No seatbelts on the bus, but I guess the logic is you probably would be okay. So you got these big, I don't know what the science is behind that. Well, some buses, if you have like a Greyhound or something like that, and you get like the airplane seats, then yeah, you probably have seatbelts on that, maybe. But like a school bus, I don't think so. Yeah, I saw that, Bradley Smith. You can smoke in the casino. I have seen that. Yeah. But now the crazy thing is you got the weed smoke. People are smoking less cigarettes and they're getting more into the actual weed smoke. That's what I see replace it. Speaking about cigarettes and weed smoke. So Biden talking about the Biden administration, they're delaying the ban on menthol cigarettes because they say that they're trying to get more of the black vote. So check it out. But I keep talking I got to just get myself together. The left always talk about the lack of support, the lack of outreach from the right, from conservatives to the black community, right? Lack of outreach. Or you guys don't try, you guys don't do anything. But then when it comes to outreach from the left to the black community, what do? They send Joe Biden out there. Hey, if you don't know whether you vote for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. That's a black outreach right there. How about when he went to speak to the black kids? I got hair on my legs. I know about roaches. Corn Pop was a bad dude. That's black outreach. And then, they had a study that said that menthol cigarettes negatively impacted the black community more than anybody else because I don't know. Maybe it's like They Clone Tyrone, if you ever seen that movie. Maybe the nicotine gets some kind of special ingredient for black people, right? And the darker you are, the more it affects you, okay? And then they said that the cigarettes were cheaper and in black neighborhoods. This is all outdated information. First of all, like the new generation, they don't smoke cigarettes. These young people are smoking weed or they're vaping. That's what's going on. Newports and Cools and all of that, that's old school. You probably smoke those if you are above 40 or somewhere right around there. You're not going to be 21 years old as a brand new Newport smoker unless you also smoke crack simultaneously. Okay, you're going to be smoking vape, which is a scourge right now. I mean, look, them vape users, not all, but vape users, oh man, especially women, I see that quite a bit. Young ladies with the vapes, oh, it's like they crackheads with the vapes. They gotta have it. They gonna throw a fit if they don't got their vape. It's to the point now where if somebody's a vape user and they really on it, I'm like, you know what? Okay, you could just you stay over there. I'm not trying to get in the way of your vape fix. It's like somebody on heroin coming down from that. So the vaping and the weed smoke, but that's totally fine. We're legalizing weed. The vapes, it's all good. Remember they had the child vape influencers? Bit tobacco is crazy. There was a time, and it might still be going on today, they had kids on Instagram, I'm talking about minors, doing vape tricks, making it look cool, all kind of colors, and it was like they were literally marketing the kids because it's not technically a cigarette. We're not technically advertising cigarettes anymore. It was crazy because back in my day, we had magazines we would get, and in the magazine, you would have cigarette ads in there. You had ads on TV for cigarettes, but then the government said you can't advertise anymore. You can't have certain kind of ads because they understand how powerful ads are. So for a while, you would see cigarette ads on billboards maybe, but that was about it. You couldn't have anything in the magazine or on television. And now, fast forward, what they were doing was using kids to promote vaping as like a fun activity to do tricks and blow smoke rings and things like that. And right after, what happened was there was a big wave of young people getting hooked on vapes with nicotine in it. So all they did was the end around to get new customers, to get more fiends, the same way that Big Pharma does when they put drugs on TV, Ozempic. Now, that's going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry, Ozempic. And then, of course, the pain pills. There was an actual lawsuit because in my original home place, Appalachia, where I'm at right now, Big Pharma intentionally dumped pills right there. They dumped them right there. It was a whole big thing. You had doctors getting locked up because they were prescribing too many pills at so-called pain centers. It's a whole big mess. You got documentaries, you got not advertisements, you got lawsuits, all of that against Big Pharma over doing that. So you got Big Pharma, Big Tobacco, all of that, just trying to get new customers. But hey, let's draw the line at Newport 100s. Only after the election, because health is not that important if we're going to measure it, okay? We're going to ban these cigarettes for your health, black people, but we need them votes first. So if we got to weigh what's more important, black people's health or their votes, the votes coming in a little bit more stronger. So check it out. Once we get your votes, then your health is important. That'll be what happens. All right, that's kind of what's going on right now, 2024. All right. Eric says marijuana is still illegal on a federal level. Yeah, of course. But soon enough, it's always the next thing. And I saw all this coming. The things happening right now on the left coast and places like Denver as well with the drugs all over I called it. I was like, look, once you take weed out of the taboo spot and make it kind of be legal, because at one point weed, it wasn't really that bad, but it was still seen as illegal. You couldn't just have that. You couldn't just smoke it outside. It was still kind of a thing that it'd be an issue if you got caught in your car with weed. But now it's like it's nothing. You could have a QP in your back seat, get pulled over, and you don't even get harassed. It's like, whatever, go ahead. Depending upon where you live. Don't do that, obviously. Don't have drugs in your car. Some guys who do dumb things. Guys will complain about getting pulled over, but then they be in their car smoking weed, loud music, open bottles in their car. It's like, my man, you asking to go to the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks, or at least to go to jail or get pulled over. Okay, I could smell weed. You smell like a whole dispensary. You have open alcohol in your car. You bumping loud music. Your tags ain't right. Your license ain't right. You asking for it. Oh, they're harassing me. Nah, you harassing yourself, making yourself hot as fish grease. But anyway, so I call all this drug stuff happening when they just took weed out of the taboo spot, because when they took weed away from the taboo spot, there needed to be another drug to get put right there. So, okay, let's put shrooms right there. And then in certain parts of the country, it accelerates. So now in California, you can do whatever you want to do. And that's why you have San Fran with doo-doo everywhere on the streets, because everybody that does that smokes crack for a living. Nobody who is of their right mind would just defecate right on the ground like that. Those are all drug addicts. When you see homeless people in complete filth and squalor, those are all drug addicts, 100%. Some are going to say, oh, they got mental illness. Well, they have mental illness because they smoke crack all day and they got crazy because of the crack. Everybody is on drugs who lives in filth. Homeless people who are not drug addicts don't live like that. You don't really see them too much. They're kind of in the shadows. They might live in their car and they might be in the shelter. They're not gonna, they won't be in the patch of filth. They won't be in the makeshift condominium like they are over on the left coast. If you see on the side of the road, there's a makeshift condominium with garbage everywhere. That person smokes crack. Okay, that's just what it is. Now, Matt says I'm wrong on the whole drug thing. I'm right, because you can see the effects of it on the left coast where they did it. People bring up Portugal. It's like, okay, do we live in Portugal or do we live in the USA? All right, like, what are we talking about exactly? Portugal, 10 million people. California by itself, 5 times population. What are we saying? Let's keep it all the way real. We don't live in Europe. We live in the United States. All right, this ain't some small hamlet in Germany. This is America. All right, we don't live over there. We live over here. And the things that they do over there, we don't do over here, and vice versa. Yeah, and the opioids, but when I'm talking about the drug stuff, please believe the biggest offender here is Big Pharma. That's the biggest problem. The cartels ain't doing nothing but giving us the Big Pharma pills cheaper. That's all they doing. What's coming across the border? Fentanyl. What's fentanyl? Big Pharma. You get fentanyl if you get a serious injury in the hospital. They put it in your IV. That's a Big Pharma creation. Heroin, another Big Pharma creation. All these drugs that are being abused in the street come from Big Pharma. Weed, of course, not. But everything else, your Percocet, Xanax, all your anxiety, your benzos, all of that, that's Big Pharma all day long. So Big Pharma is a culprit getting us hooked on the expensive stuff. And when we can't afford it, we go to the street stuff. Here comes the cartel, and here comes China. That's what happens. China gives the cartels the chemicals. The cartels take the chemicals and make the drugs, flood America with it. And what's the result? 100,000 dead from opioids. That's how it happens. And then if you banging needles, now we got the HIV epidemic happening in certain parts of the country. Anyway, but I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Taylor Langley says, look at Japan. They have homeless people, but you never notice. Exactly, because they're not high on drugs. It's a different culture. It's different culture. So when somebody says, hey, well, they have homeless in Japan, okay, that's Japan, but it's not the U.S. They have different issues over there. Much different issues, different culture. It's different. It's not the U.S. The things that we do, they don't do, and vice versa. All right. So we got some more here. Did I get to everything I wanted to get to? I think I did. So yeah, shout out to Big Pharma. That's a no-go for me. All right. We got super chats on deck. I'm going to get to those. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Shout out to Crystal V. 9 years in remission. Congrats to you. Shout out to you. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely heart emoji for you all day long. Are there no EVs in Japan for real, Shinobi? I didn't know that. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, shout out to Japan for being ahead of the curve. All right. They probably got much smaller vehicles, but no electric vehicles. Thank you to G Nails, who says, ABL, salute. Can't wait to hear you touch on Trump at Chick-fil-A and that goofy heifer, Sheila Jackson Lee. Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to mention. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for reminding me. I got to show that one right quick. I'm going to do a video on it, but I'm going to show it to you guys right quick as well. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is crazy. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm going to just let it play. All right, check this out.
Sometimes you've heard the word full moon. Sometimes you need to take the opportunity just to come out and see a full moon is that complete rounded circle, which is made up mostly of gases. And that's why the question is why or how could we as humans live on the moon? Are the gases such that we could do that? The sun is a mighty powerful heat that is almost impossible to go near the sun. The moon is more manageable. Sometimes you've heard the word.
Oh my God. Okay. I think there's more, but wow. Oh my gosh. Where do I start? Oh my Lord. Good grief. Okay. This is Sheila Jackson Lee in the U.S. House Representatives. Yes, she is. Sheila Jackson Lee. The moon. Hey, she might as well say the moon is made of cheese. I would have took that. If she would have said it's made of cheese, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that makes more sense than gases. What? The moon, that moon right there in the sky is gas? Okay. And then the sun is pretty hot, but the moon is not as bad. The sun is you can't get anywhere close to the sun. You can't get anywhere at all close to the sun. I'm finished. I'm gonna do a video. I think there's more, but that's crazy. Yeah, talk about drugs, right? Good grief. What kind of drugs is she on? No, ain't no drugs. She's stone cold sober. I'm talking about teetotaler. No drugs ever. If she had a blood test, it'd come out squeaky clean. Squeaky clean. Oh my, that's just a moron right there. Talking about something the moon made of gas. Really? Gas? What kind of gas? Or whatever, man. You know what? I don't know, man. Like I'm almost speechless. Hold on. Colin Rugg, the guy who posted this, he says, it gets better. After getting called out for her own comment, Jackson Lee blasted Republicans for criticizing her, calling them foolish. And here's what she said. Obviously, I misspoke, and I meant to say the sun. But as usual, Republicans focus on stupid things instead of stuff that really matters. What can I say, though? Foolish thinkers lust for stupidity, she said to the New York Post. I care more about protecting the rights of women and children than engaging in this kind of senseless dialogue, ! The moon is made of gases, and the sun, it's more manageable. It's more doable. It's not as bad. You know what I mean? It's like kind of comparable, about the same size in the sky. Because when I see it in the sky, like the same size. So one, they're both kind of gassy, but the sun is hot. When I go outside, it's hot in Texas. So yeah, it's the moon is not as hot. When the moon is out, it's kind of cold. It's kind of cooler. So it's not that bad. So that's easier to deal with than the actual sun. Yo, that's crazy. Man, go ahead. What in the world? All right, I'm done with that. That's crazy. All right, thank you to Lawfare, who says, blaming climate change on the eclipse and earthquakes. I mean, even Al Gore is rolling his eyes. Seriously, I have no hope for humanity. Same. Thank you to G. Nails, who says, why does he have a pen? Thank you to Big Rocks Little Rocks, who says, it's been said by lawyers that if someone breaks into your home, you're better off deleting them because if they live, they'll sue you. Top 5 books. That's a very good point. Yeah, go ahead and just, headshots only. Bam, bam. Thank you to Dapper Dave 2021, who says ABL, that ominous bill McCarthy agreed to was awful. Thank you to Angel Rivera, who says, hey ABL, you're my number one content provider. You keep it interesting, keep up the good work. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Matt, who says shadow stat CPI inflation going down, but it's 8%. And he says wrong about drug legalization, and also get your sir ready, sir. Alrighty. Let's get to the actual calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And yes, Sheila Jackson Lee did call people foolish for saying that she was dumb to say the moon was made of gases and the sun is kind of comparable. That's crazy. These people have no idea. I mean, like, do we got to go back to the little projects? Hold on. Can I show you the project? The solar system project. Okay. Can we go back to this? Like, did we forget? I thought we all did this. Wait a minute. And that's not even really right, but it's still kind of close. It's close enough. Okay, I thought we all did this. Okay, this is not to scale, obviously, but I thought that we all, at a certain point, did this little project. Okay, with the little styrofoam balls, and you got to color it and do all that. I thought we all did this, but I guess not, right? I guess not. And I thought maybe as adults, you do a little bit more digging to see how big the sun really is. In reality, if this was to scale, you wouldn't see anything other than the sun on this at all. And you would see just a little piece of it. All you would see is like a piece. You might see some of the sun's curvature, but you wouldn't see anything else because the sun is so big. It's kind of hard to really comprehend how big the sun is. Hold on. I want to show. Can I gotta just cleanse myself. I feel icky. Hold on. Yeah, can we just show something right quick? The sun, true scale of the earth. Okay. Yeah, there we go. This is a little bit better. All right. Hold on. Yeah, a scale, a true scale. There we go. There we go. That's the actual scale right there. Like, you won't get anywhere close to the sun. See how big that is? Do you even see the earth right there? No, that's not even the earth right there. The earth is over here. It's like a little teeny ball, little teeny baby ball right there. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, all of that, that's over here. That's the bigger planets. These are the gas giants, but the earth is like over here, the little baby right there, and the moon right there on the bottom left-hand side. Okay, that's the reality of the situation, but all right, let's keep on moving. 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Third grade education. We learned that in the third grade. We talking about no education. You talking about going to school and not even showing up. Can she read? I'm surprised she can just read without having to sound each word out. Are you even literate at that point? I mean, good night. Pluto, hey, Pluto is, I don't know if Pluto is a planet or a moon. That's still up for discussion right there. That might be an errant comment, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We ain't talking about that right now at all. All right. Let's keep on moving. Let me get to the calls. And there's also it's email for Skype. If it doesn't work right, don't blame me. Blame the white man because it ain't my fault. All right. Let's keep on moving here. Let's go to. All righty. You're on the line 407. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL.
Oh, what's going on, Sharice?
Okay. So I don't even know why I'm peeping here, but anyways. My question is, what are your thoughts on Aoki Simmons? You heard of what happened with Kamora Lee's daughter? Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Look, if you like it, I love it. So basically, for the chat, if you don't know,
What?
nah, but listen. So in case you don't know, in the chat, Aoki Simmons, what's she like? 21, right?
Yes.
This is Russell's daughter. Russell Simmons' daughter. He's the former owner of Def Jam. That's his daughter. Now, I think Russell's the same age as her boyfriend or something. Might have been boyfriend. They were on the beach.
Russell's in his 60s, I think.
65 years old.
Ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. There's a 44-year age difference between the two of them. They were on the beach kissing and whatnot. Hey, you know what? If you grown and you like old men like that, then that's your business. Do what you do. I'm not gonna get in the way. I'm not a hater. As long as they both consent, as long as they adults. Now, would I want my daughter to date an old man like that? I don't think so. But at a certain point, you can't stop her. If Russell was to try to stop her and try to like interfere, then she would do it a lot more just to defy him. So he did right to say, you know what? I can't control it. Whatever she wants to do. So yeah, if you like it, I love it. I don't think she's going to keep on doing that, but she had the experience, and that's that on that.
So what do you think is like too big of an age gap, in your opinion?
I mean, to me, there is no too big of an age gap. I don't think. But if I was a dad and I had a daughter and she's 21 years old and the guy is older than me, 65 or something like that, I'd be like, come on, you could do better. But as long as they got a good thing going on, then it's fine.
Okay. Somebody in the comments said she's a freak calling daddy. It's nothing wrong with calling a man daddy. Nothing at all. But let me be quiet.
Right on.
Oh, okay. You okay? You doing okay?
Yeah, everything good. You know, just doing the show.
All right. That's good. All right, guys. I'm going to get off. Bye.
All right, that's Reese. Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen these people, we're talking about Aoki Lee. I might do an Uncle ABL video on that. Aoki Lee Simmons, Russell Simmons' daughter, Russell Simmons and Kimora Lee. But also Russell met Kimora Lee, her mother, when they were really young. I ain't gonna show them kissing. We ain't gonna show all that. We just gonna show the age gap, okay? We're just gonna show how they look. So that's Aoki Lee, and that's the businessman. I think his name is Vittorio Asaf. I'm not sure what he does. I think he's a restaurateur. 65 years old, and she is 21. If you like it, I love it. I think Russell did the right thing by staying out, because if he was to try to be like, oh, don't date that old man, whatever, she would do it more just to defy him, because she wants to be 21 years old and rebellious. But since he didn't say anything and just let her do it, now you had the experience. You probably don't want to do it no more. Now you realizing, okay, this man's really 65 years old and I'm 21 and it's not a really good combination, so she probably won't do it again. Yeah, they already broke up exactly. Now, if Russell was to try to get in the way, they probably should be together. Just because I got to defy him, I'll do my own thing. I do what I want to do. Yeah, I ain't showing them kissing. I ain't doing that. I don't want to. I'm good. If you want to see that, that's fine. But we ain't going to show that here. I know you might have just eaten dinner, and I ain't trying to be the cause of you to get that right back up. All righty, Matt, what's going on?
Anthony.
What's happening?
It's half your age plus 7 is the rule, man.
Okay, so she might be a little bit outside of that box right there.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a bit outside of that. And then that Sheila Ford might look like or Sheila Jackson, right? That's her name. She might look like a Triceratops, but I actually think I know what she was talking about.
Okay, can you break it down for us?
She's talking about the corona that you see in the moon from the solar eclipse. And I think she was talking about the sun. She just wasn't really incredibly smart about what she was talking about. I want to junk on her, but I mean, Trump was saying this stuff about how they wanted to bring light into your body to fight corona. And there was some absolutely amazing technology that he was talking about, and where they actually bring in UV light into your lungs through these tubes. And because people SHIT on it so much that that technology was kind of shelved for a while, and it could have saved a lot of people's lives. Not to say that Sheila Ford is up to any good or Sheila Jackson's up to any good, but
right, of course.
Yeah. I want to describe something, an OSHA graph that it's. I'll just kind of describe it with words and maybe a gesture, but OSHA likes to pride itself in basically saving lots of lives in the workplace. And OSHA was created, I think, in the 1980s, sometime around there, or late 70s. But the workplace accidents were precipitous long before OSHA was even created. So it's kind of like they get in front of a parade and they take credit for like saving all these lives. Drunk driving is exactly like that. Drunk driving deaths per mile driven have absolutely plummeted in the United States since the 1920s. And drunk driving laws have done nothing. I mean, if at best it's noise in the system. So at the end of the day, cars got better, safety devices, roads especially got a lot better. And I think, and I'm saying this as someone whose sister was hit and nearly killed by a drunk driver. I think having a beer while you drive is awesome. And I'm personally would say that I've been most impaired by sleepiness. And if they had some sort of device where they could pull you over and measure how sleepy you are, and we'd all be getting arrested for sleepy driving. And I think if you look at that, that's probably one of the biggest indicators of fatalities or accidents, what have you, is sleepiness and inattentiveness.
Very good point. With texting, that's a scourge right now. I see all the time. What you see a lot of times with texting, you see like a car that goes up under a truck. You see that all the time because they're not paying attention. The truck will stop, and then they don't stop fast enough, and before you know it, they're under the truck.
Yeah. And then drunk driving is still going on, even though it's illegal. And I think when you do stuff like that, when you make it illicit, you make it more taboo. And it basically makes it so that the most irresponsible people do it in the most irresponsible ways. So to that matter, sir, pot is not legal. It's still illegal.
On a federal level.
It's been decriminalized. And I think probably one of the biggest issues with drugs, number one, the war on drugs is lost. Fentanyl basically was like a nuclear device that blew up on the whole war on drugs, and we lost it. I think there should be legal fentanyl, heroin, all that stuff. Completely legal, made by real companies that have tort and can be sued. I think in the same way you get a 5-hour energy at 7-Eleven, should be able to get a hit of heroin.
But like the thing is, you already have these drugs everywhere. It's easy to get. So how would legalizing it make a difference as far as what we're dealing with right now with the crisis?
Quality controls, it puts the cartels out of business. It creates legitimate companies that have to stand behind a product. It creates a culture that's more responsible and not one that's basically second rate or illegitimate or illegal.
But how about it change the health of people? Because the problem is, like the cartels and whatnot, that's a whole different issue with the crime that they have. That's a different thing aside from the health of people. But ultimately, when people get their hands on it, it's the health issue. Now we got people that are just, totally addicted. They can't function. They're overdosing. 100,000 dead from overdoses. It's not because it's bad quality. It's because it's good quality. It's very strong to the point where you just take too much and you die. So what's to prevent that from happening because of the legalization?
Well, first, it's the legal drugs that most people are overdosing from, or at least it used to be until the fentanyl came around. But basically, it would be painkillers and pill poppers and OxyContin and that kind of stuff is how that all started. And people were getting scripts for that, and that was legal. And I think at the end of the day, I do think people are going to get a hold of substances, and they're going to do things to themselves in somewhat self-destructive ways. But again, if there was a legitimate culture around, heroin, for example, in the way there's one around alcohol, I think that it would be a lot less of an issue. And then on top of that, the big pharma basically has a monopoly on all those really hard drugs, and that's what they want. And the spillover is this black market. So I think there should be an absolutely massive gray area in between big pharma and some other third-party company that's going to make some sort of opiate that has quality controls and directions for use on the label and all that kind of stuff.
Directions for use. I mean, at the end of the day, you're talking about fentanyl. Like, that's the drug of choice, because what the drug addicts want is stronger and stronger and stronger. They want to get high as possible, and when they get high as possible, a lot of times they OD. They go. It's a thin line with fat. It's not the same thing as alcohol, weed, or anything like that. Not even shrooms.
It used to be alcohol, right? So, I mean, I've been around homeless people my whole life. Alcohol, by and large, has been the number one drug of choice of homeless people, long before any other drug. Alcohol was the one. They want to sit around and drink all day, and now they want to sit around and do fentanyl all day. I think the whole debate could be.
I got a question. Do you think that alcohol and fentanyl are comparable?
No, I think the counterculture that it created was comparable. And I think the fact that it was the drug of choice of homeless can be compared. I think the magnitude of one is way different than others, and I think if you look at, like, basically when alcohol was illegal, the cartels were running it. People were getting poisoning. Literally, the government was poisoning it on purpose. They were denaturing it, and tens of thousands of people died from that. I think because the war on drugs has reached this crescendo that we've basically at this point where the people waging the war are desperate, and that's why you see what's going on in these inner cities. The Chinese and the Mexican cartels have basically pulled out a nuclear weapon, and the conventional weapons are now off the table. And I think we should bring the conventional weapons back on the table.
Well, there you have it.
Does that make sense? Like, they've gone to a point where now the drugs are undetectable by the dogs. I mean, and it takes such small quantities to get smuggled in now that, we might as well give up this whole farce of trying to combat this. We have to have legitimate companies and a real culture around drug use.
Well, I understand your point of view, although I don't really agree. But thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You'll be good, man.
All right, shout out to Matt. But yeah, fat and alcohol, two totally different animals. Totally different. One little piece of fat, you can die immediately. Immediately, your heart just, stop. Alcohol is not that way. It's not the same thing at all. It's different, and the drugs are totally different in nature. Fat and all that kind of stuff is just cheap. Alcohol, you're talking about like these cheap liquors, $5, $10. It's cheap. It's a cheap high. But fat, it's a whole different ball game. Whole different. Not even nowhere near the same. Okay, like you would have at a certain point with homeless people, they could be somewhat functional. Somewhat. They could be kind of functional on alcohol. But fat? Nah. Zombie, straight zombie, zombie land. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, ABL, what's up, man? I'm just joining, listening to ABL show, play some GTA by myself this time. My roommate's out in Ohio, and I'm grilling. Hear that? Nice, juicy steak.
Yes, indeed.
Heck yeah, man. Hey, I was listening to the show, man, and, the open air drug markets and stuff like that, the best way to get rid of that situation, that, that problem, you can still legalize all drugs, is public intoxication. Actually, I think, to my opinion,
yes, indeed,
needs to be more enforced, to my opinion.
Okay.
I think public intoxication, if I don't want to see you shoot up, whatever you do in your own personal apartment or house or whatever, or trailer or tent, whatever you do, don't do it right in front of me. And as soon as you criminalize that, then you can get rid of the criminal element out of that situation. And I don't necessarily agree, just listening out on this, that throwing people behind bars because they have a bad habit. I think these people need to go to rehab. Throwing them behind bars with killers, murderers, and psychopaths, it's not going to make that's not going to make this society even more better. And the war on drugs is a joke.
Okay.
I mean, I know we may have a disagreement on this, but if there's a possibility, because Hamid al-Mulay, he legalized drugs, but I think when other countries that you have in Europe that legalize these drugs, they criminalize or go against people who do it out in public. There's a bit of a difference, and there's less. Actually, I think there's less deaths with drugs when you do that.
Very interesting.
And I think if you're going to legalize all these kind of drugs, you have to add on other drugs to do that. If just because it's fentanyl is straight up poison. If you can criminalize somebody for a murder charge for that, I would have definitely agree with that. But California over Portland, they screwing that up somehow, and they're messing it up. And it seems like to me, every time the Democratic Party, doesn't matter where's it from, where's that in modern day, finds a way to screw this up. I don't know why. It comes down to the black community, even to the LGBT community. For some weird reason why they do more harm than good.
Yeah, it's a mess over there at Left Coast for sure.
Yeah, I would not even waste my time even going on vacation and stuff like that. Hey man, I'm enjoying the show, man. Ivan keeps on calling you dumb. Bro, hey Ivan, if you hear me, man, hey, I challenge you on Street Beast, bro. Come on. You want to run your mouth to my homie right here? Come on. Put up or shove, guys. And by the way, when I left that one comment, I think it was on Saturday Scream, I'm not joking with you. I ordered something from Amazon. It showed up after about a week, even though it's supposed to be Amazon Prime. It still had the security tag on it. Like, really? Come on, California.
You already know what it is. Straight up stolen merchandise.
Oh, God. See, I just could not tolerate living in Cali. Hey, must enjoy the live stream, ABL. Talk to you later, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Luciferian Libertarian out. I'm out. Bye.
All right, shout out to the call. Shout out to my man for the call. And shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, drugs. I mean, listen, we're talking about legalizing drugs. You can see the effects of it. Go to California. Go to San Francisco. It's right there. You can see what happens. You can see what the results are. So if you want to live in that kind of environment, then go ahead. It's already there. It's here. It's not, we don't have to really look. People talk about Portugal and Europe, all these places over there, but you can look at what's happening here. There's no need to go over there when you can see the results here. You see? There's literally no need. Everything that we want to see is happening right now. And that's just kind of what that is. All right. But you guys are the best. You already know what it is. You already know what to do. Yeah, it's a lot. I'd rather would not be in a place like Portland, San Francisco, Oakland, anywhere where drugs are just out. You could just do whatever you want to do. I'm cool. I'll stay over here. I'll stay over this way, 100%. All righty, let's keep on moving here. 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? It's JV Scotchman from Oklahoma, now living in Southwest Missouri. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot, man. Hey, great show tonight. Good vibes, very good vibes tonight from you and all the people calling in and all the people in the chat. I just want to keep that going. There's a lot I could talk about, but I just want to keep it short and sweet on one subject. Donald Trump down at that Chick-fil-A today in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Or down in Georgia. Wasn't that awesome, man? Doesn't that make you like look at him and be like, man, that is our president. That is the people's president right there.
Right on.
So where you just walk into a place, you know, buy everyone milkshakes. Everyone's happy to see him and take photos with people. I mean, it's a great thing, you know. And then you flip over the channel, to like, well, not even the channel, but like other YouTubers, and you see all these gaffes of Joe Biden meeting with the Chinese prime minister, or not Chinese, but Japanese prime minister today. And my God, he couldn't even put one freaking sentence together today, no matter if he was reading off his little cheat cards or teleprompter or whatever. He had a horrible day. And seeing Trump just fly in like a boss on Trump Force One and talking to people, I mean, that made me feel good. That made me feel good. And I know he's got to win in November. He's got to. I mean, that's all there is to it, man. I'm still standing by my choice as Tulsi Gabbard as a VP pick. I think it's going to happen.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see how that works.
Yep. All right, man. Hey, I'll let you go, man. Just like I said, I'm enjoying the show. Hey, I know you're a PC gamer guy. I just got the RTX GeForce 470 last week. Oh man, that thing is a beast.
I bet. Is it loud? Can you hear it a lot when you using it?
Well, heck no, man. I even got it overclocked and I got the fan turned up, and I don't even know it's there.
Wow, very impressive.
Yeah, but it barely fit in my case. I barely had room for it. But yeah, it's yeah, I'm ready for everything right now, and when it comes to gaming.
Right on.
But anyway, all right, love you, man. Everybody in the chat and the community here, and have a good night, dude.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, later, dude.
All right, shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. The number to call 434-658-1220. 470, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony, it's Craig from Wild Wacky Atlanta. How you doing, sir?
Everything's all right. How about yourself?
Well, I'm still fighting behind enemy lines here, holding off the communists. Now it goes. Wait for the mega forces to come in on November 5th of this year. So that's what we can do.
Right on.
So anyway, man, yeah, man, I'm so excited about Trump coming to Atlanta. That's so great.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and it was a great time at the Chick-fil-A. A lot of good scenes. The media is not going to like that too much. There's going to be plenty of hit pieces. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know about Vine City?
Yes, I do.
Okay, it's one of the worst parts of Atlanta, next to Mechanicsville, and Vine City is next to English Avenue. It was one of the most violent parts of Atlanta. It sounds like this.
We got silence.
That's right.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, sorry, my volume's turned down, but anyway, yeah, it's terrible.
Right. There we go.
Yeah, that's fine city for you. English Avenue and Mechanicsville.
Right.
One of the most violent parts of Atlanta. It's just terrible. And so Trump went there, and that's incredible.
Absolutely.
He was well received. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great. It was amazing.
Yeah. So I have to tell you a story. We keep hiring these transsexuals at my job. I told you last week I work in retail. And last weekend I misgendered one of my coworkers. And I almost started World War III.
So is a person a male or a female?
Well, here's the odd part. 90% of the time, it's always a woman, a man trying to pretend to be a woman.
Yeah.
But 10% of the time, it's the woman trying to pretend to be a man.
Okay, so we got a biological woman who says she's a man now.
In other words, a real woman.
Yeah,
trying to pretend to be a man.
Right.
And I said, "Oh, Gil is my coworker." And I said, "Oh, you're Gil in the break room." I said, "You're Gil's daughter." And as she's going to the refrigerator behind me, she goes, "Oh, I'm Gil's child." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So we're into that.
Yeah,
that's the game we're playing. I'm like, going, "Oh, okay." And so she seemed really. This gets confusing. I'm sorry, but she was a she. It screws with your mind. And she says, "I'm Gil's daughter." It's something like, okay, well, got that. It felt so cool to misgender somebody that is pretending to be the opposite sex and get away with it,
Uh-huh.
And keep my job. But it's getting ridiculous. I have to leave this place. I can't stand this anymore. This pretend game.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. And liberalism fuels this insanity. It really does.
Right, of course, because they keep pushing it, and then it's like if you don't play along, then you're somehow a bad person.
Right, you're the problem. If you don't agree with what's not correct, what we fantasize to be correct, then you're the problem. No, I'm not the problem. There are only two genders, and you can't fight biology. There's only male and female.
That's right.
That's one of the reasons why I'm voting for Trump. One of the many reasons. 1,000 reasons. So, my Trump. Did you see the Trump speech this afternoon?
No, I didn't.
Do you know where he spoke?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I missed out. I was so busy today. I'm looking for another place to live. I'm trying to get out of Atlanta. I'm going to go to Sandy Springs. So
it's time to make that jump for sure.
Yeah, man. Anyway, all right. I just want to tell you, I really appreciate what you do. I appreciate your content, and I'm still Ultra MAGA, Trump 2024, America First.
Right on, man.
Take care, and be safe when you come to Atlanta.
Always. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks, man. Take care. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. And yes, Atlanta. I love Atlanta personally. That's my favorite city to visit, to go to in the country. Well, one of my favorites. I like Phoenix too. Phoenix is great. Just it's a different environment. But I like the East Coast. I like this type of, but I don't like New York, too many people on top of each other. And I don't like cold places. So yeah, nowhere cold. Also, Florida, Tampa, love Tampa, Miami. Tampa, I don't speak Spanish too well, so Miami, and it's expensive in Miami. Tampa is like right up my alley. Love Tampa. If I could live somewhere else other than right where I live, it'd be Florida, like Tampa, Florida. Or anywhere else, maybe like a Nashville. I like the kind of hills and mountains that we have here locally. So like a Nashville would be cool. Virginia, back in Virginia maybe, but not really. Been there, done that. But then once you get on the East Coast, you get further up, it's cold, it's snowing, I'm good. So like North Carolina somewhere. But if I'm gonna go to South Carolina or Raleigh Durham, I might as well go to Atlanta, because at that point, now you in Charlotte, and Charlotte ain't nothing but Atlanta Junior. But anyway, I digress. Who am I speaking to now? I want to have you on the line.
Hey, ABL.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Okay, great. I'm going to keep it really short because I'm on speakerphone and I think it sucks. But I wanted to tell you, the thing about this whole legalization of drugs that drives me crazy is what people don't understand is when they look to European cities that have done it and they say, oh, look at like the Netherlands, or look at this city or whatever, blah, blah, blah. What they do over there is they don't only just provide safe injection sites and provide the drugs and all that stuff, but they also get those people into programs and they try to get them off the drugs. And like, they work with them. They really, really try to get them, better. But over here in the U.S. and like Vancouver, they just give them the drugs. They just go, here you go. here's a drug, here's a needle, go have fun, and that's it. Like, that's why we fail over here. Like, we suck. We're terrible. Like, you look at Kensington. It's awful. It's god-awful because they don't take that extra step. They don't actually care about the human beings. They're all people who are just making money off this. So that's like the other part of the equation. The advocates for the legalization of drugs, they don't get that part. They don't explain it fully. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to put that out there. And there's a guy on YouTube that his name is Tyler Oliviera or something like that. Anyway, he's on YouTube. He did a whole thing, like he went to Vancouver. That's why I know this stuff, because he went to Vancouver. He showed Vancouver's as bad as Kensington. But he talked about like the reason we fail over here in North America is because we don't take that second step.
That makes sense.
Pretty messed up.
Because just just try to fix the problem rather than just letting it happen. Let's try to fix some stuff. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So anyway, let's put that out there. Have a great evening and great show. Talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, shout out to you guys in the chat. You're talking about Raleigh and all that because Raleigh is like right next to Virginia. It's right there. So I've been to Raleigh. That's to me, Raleigh, all of that, it's just like Virginia. And at least my part of Virginia, like Hampton Roads, is like really similar. Right? It's right down the street. It's like I look at Raleigh the same kind of way that Chattanooga is to Atlanta. It's like not that far, kind of in a similar region. It's like the same region. Different states, obviously, but same region. Yeah, so to me, it's like the same thing. If I go to Raleigh, I might as well go back to Virginia, back to where I'm from. And I'm not really trying to do that. Nothing against Virginia, but, been there, done that. I want to go to a new place. Where I'm at right now is pretty cool. If I was to go anywhere else, it'd be Florida. Texas, maybe, but Texas is just kind of far. And I'm an East Coast guy. I'm an Eastern Seaboard guy. But if I wanted to get away from the Eastern Seaboard and go across Mississippi River, I go to Texas. Dallas, I like Dallas. Maybe not so much Houston, but maybe Houston. But Dallas too. El Paso, I loved El Paso when I went many years ago, but now we got the illegal aliens. That's going to be a problem. I ain't trying to have no illegal aliens in my backyard. That's not going to be okay. All right. And then I'm not really trying to go too far west. Phoenix, but it's way too hot. Summertime, I ain't trying to be covered in dust with no sweat in 120-degree weather. So weather's always going to be a thing. And also with Texas, you got possible hurricanes from the Gulf if you live in too close to the water. So that's why I like where I live right now, because I'm East Coast, but I'm not on the water. Being in Virginia, sometimes you have some hurricane issues. Tampa might be the same thing, but you on the coast side, so I don't know, maybe it's a little bit different. I mean, you on the Gulf Coast side, so it's a little bit different. All right, let's keep on going here. Let's go to 504. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, Adilian Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. So I had a very interesting day today. It started out with the weather. The weather was very bad in my area, and north of me, across the lake in Slidell, there was this horrible tornado that happened. But thankfully, where I am, it didn't get bad. Didn't get like a tornado, but there's warnings for it. And where you are, is there bad weather?
No, where I am is clear. It's been pretty good. It was just some rain earlier today and yesterday. Earlier today it was like a little bit of rain, and yesterday it was a little bit more, but it's been pretty smooth so far. Like right now, it's all clear.
That's good. That's good. So I see the stream's going well, because it would probably have messed up with the connection or the power.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah. So basically, another thing, I was on some streams about the different trials and things I watch, and then they did one. They're talking about Ryan Koberger, and then I came over here like and halfway into the show, and I'm talking to you. So it's like a movie or something for me to be on these different things. But so yeah, basically, I think with the situation Chad is talking about, with the drugs. I think that you can look at it through different angles, and there's no easy answer to it, because the debate can go on and on forever. Because on one hand, you're saying how, like in California and the West Coast, like weed was taken off as a taboo, but then, they're going to come up with something else and something else. On the other hand, maybe not everybody that does the weed is necessarily being nefarious, but you'll have a lot of people, like when alcohol was illegal one time, then they made it legal, and there's still people that drink and drive and stuff. I mean, you're going to have people that are going to do silly, stupid things with substances.
Yeah, that's correct. Absolutely.
Right. And there are also different circumstances. Like, there's people like, I know from the hood, like, they wouldn't want it legalized because if everyone it was legalized, all the people would be doing it everywhere and would cause a problem. And, it could go on and on, back and forth. And yeah, just as I said, there's no easy answer to it. And I do think sometimes people might be doing something like, I don't know how I like to drink orange juice. Like, some people might drink or do something for recreational use. What I mean by that is people might do it for fun or something, but some people may be trying to suppress something, and through alcohol or whatever. And in that case, I believe people should seek God, or if you don't believe in that, which you should, people could seek something else or some other kind of philosophical knowledge to help themselves, overcome things and let go of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It needs to be a lot more people that are seeking help aside from just trying to self-medicate, because a lot of times it's what it is. They just try to find ways to numb what they got going on rather than getting the professional help.
Right. And my father, he was alcoholic, and, it ruined his relationship with his kids, and he's an exception. There's many good fathers out there. But it ruined that person's life. And there's just some people with addictions, they can go, some people it doesn't affect them too much. Some people could ruin their lives completely. So I do think it's good to seek other things. Like I went through things in my own life and stuff that, like say Katrina and, stuff like that. I went through betrayals and things like that, but I focused on YouTube and I did my own thing. And, I didn't use substances to go and escape it. And also I trust in God, and therefore I didn't, need anything like that.
Absolutely. That's the way to go.
Right. And yeah, El Paso, that sounds like a place to visit, but hopefully in the future, when it's not like with all the illegals there, I'll pass on that for now.
Yeah, definitely. Go in the future when it's calmed down. But yeah, when I went, it was great. You had like a lot of that old school Texas Mexican type of vibe. Mm-hmm. It looked like New Mexico, Arizona. It was really cool. I really enjoyed it.
Right. And also with like New Orleans has good and bad areas. It depends. And, it's the South. And basically with the hurricanes, that is something that's very scary when those things happen. And like the winds, they make all kinds of weird howling noises. Like it's some kind of horror movie. It sounds like a demon, and sometimes it knocks out power, and rarely it'll lead to like what Hurricane Katrina did. And also, so that's something to take into consideration in the southern areas. And your area, they don't have that. But like possibly there could be tornadoes. That wouldn't be too good. But over down here, there's tornadoes now. Just out of nowhere, the tornadoes are starting to happen down in New Orleans now.
Yeah, we had a tornado here in 2020, and my neighborhood got hit by the tornado, actually.
Oh. Well, I'm glad that you are okay from that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, with a hurricane, there is a warning, and that is good. You could, like, prepare for it with, like, because we're talking, I went live last night, and, like, we're talking about, like, a hurricane, like, which one is worse. But, like, a hurricane, you could prepare for it. But an earthquake, we have better technology now to tell with tornadoes and, like, earthquakes. But still, there's not really much warning for that. But it's just, for everybody, it's best to be prepared rather than scared. And to always just be prepared for things and make sure, like, what we talk about with inflation, or if this or that happens with the economy, just be prepared and have the right equipment and things and, like, radios if some kind of catastrophe happens.
Right, absolutely.
And people here are more prepared for things than other people, because the normies out there are just getting drunk somewhere or doing something unproductive and not like being here in the chat. So people are here in the chat and seeing what's going on. That's good. But other people are just doing other things and not focusing on the crisis, like inflation, for instance, how you were showing before, it's getting really high, and it's people, all their stuff is becoming more expensive. And on top of everything, they're supporting the stuff in the different countries and other conflicts over across seas. So, places are closing down because of it, because they can't make a profit. And it just basically shows the how far gone the American people are, and you know, a lot of people just don't do like what we do here.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. And also, ABL, that's all I have to say for this call. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right, shout out to man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to you guys for calling. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. All right, and the number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. 773, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for squeezing me in. Just wanted to add my 2 cents to this whole, drug thing, legalizing drugs, and the problem with the drugs that everybody's been talking about. You know, we have to remember, ABL, why alcohol has such a long history for mankind. And that was because water was very dangerous. People got sick on waterborne diseases and everything else. So that is why alcohol was produced and made. People drank alcohol with their meals as opposed to water, because clean water was not available. People were getting sick from that. It's the same reason why the perfume industry was developed in France and everywhere else, is because people weren't bathing. They didn't, they were using the waterways. We did this in Chicago. We used to use our river as our sewer, and it was polluting Lake Michigan. So much so that we turned the flow of the lake around. We put a canal in the river to make instead of making the river flow and all that waste flowing into Lake Michigan, it now flows backwards towards the Mississippi. There were problems with that too, but then now we treat the sewage and everything else before we send it down the Mississippi. But that's what we were doing. That's what's happened all over the world. So alcohol has been there, and some people get addicted to alcohol and have problems with it, but it's a long-standing thing. But once you start to legalize drugs like heroin and fentanyl and crack cocaine, people fall into an addiction, and they can no longer function in our society. And then in order to live, crime starts. They start to commit crimes. They've fallen out of society, mostly because of their addiction. Here's the thing. It's a human thing to want to change your consciousness. That's a very human thing. Some people do it by running and exercising and whatnot, and some people do it by drinking or getting high. But the problem is, not everybody, but a lot of people can't handle that, and they fall into addiction. It's the same thing with gambling. That's why gambling used to be illegal, is because people fall into an addiction and they gamble their whole lives away. And then, of course, now that looks like a revenue stream to the government, and that's why these local governments have gambling. But there are a lot of people right now sitting right now playing cards in these casinos and losing their life savings and losing their home and everything else. Society cannot look like we endorse that, because it just creates more problems. It does. There are some people that just want to drop out of society. I've met those people. They're all on the streets. Some are unfortunate on the streets for money problems, but the majority are there because of different addictions and just falling out of society. Many of them don't want to participate in the social contract that we have with each other, which is don't steal from each other, try not to kill each other, try to be a good person, treat people the way you want to be treated, and blah, 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 blah. But what happens is, when there's no consequence to things like crime, when you don't have a consequence to crime, society starts to push people into crime, especially when you're young. it pushes you into crime because, number one, you didn't learn from right from wrong. This is why, no matter if you believe in God or not, if I may, ABL, regardless if you believe in God or not, I think God in school is very important. And here's the reason why. Because religion tells you that you don't do anything in a vacuum. God is watching. So it gives you empathy. It gives you some sort of guilt from doing the wrong thing. You don't want to feel that God's watching. You know, people do horrendous things when they think no one's watching and I can get away with it. They murder people, rape people, torture people. I've seen it personally. But, you know, you have to be, you know, if you have, and those are people, by the way, that have no empathy. They have no empathy. They have no feelings for you whatsoever. You know how many times I've slapped my wrist and killed a mosquito, kill a spider, kill an ant, like most of us do? That's the feeling some people have about other human beings. It means nothing to them. Nothing. They'll walk up to you, shoot you in the head, and take $5.49 from you. You know, you have to lock those kind of people up. The other people, you cannot encourage crime because it makes people who normally would not have fallen into that to fall into that trap. Oh, it's okay. Why should I pay for this? Let me walk in the store. Let me just grab this lady's car. You know, everybody's doing it. Let's grab this lady's car. She looks weak. And the next thing you know, you're jumping in her car and she's stuck on her, you know, her seatbelt, and you dragged her to death. You've killed her and wiped her life out just to drive down the street because you saw it on the news, you saw it in your neighborhood. You know, we have to try to take care that we don't have people or encourage people to fall into this behavior. And once you legalize heroin and these things, you start to push those people into that behavior where they get out of control. Now, some people do drugs, you know, like marijuana or whatever. I'm not stressing on those kind of things. But, you know, they do that for recreational things. But I've met so many heroin addicts, and that really was the drug at the time, was heroin. It's fun to begin with when you want to change your, you know, your consciousness, when you want to alter your consciousness and get a different feeling. But very soon, the fun goes away, and you are stuck in addiction that you cannot get out of. And it has ruined your life. You've lost your family. You've lost everything. You're on the streets. Women are selling their bodies. Men are doing stick-ups in order to, you know, fix, you know, to get a fix for their addiction. But that still makes you a criminal. That still makes you, you know, not just from the drugs, but the other crimes that are around the drugs that you wind up finding yourself doing. And, you know, I've met people that I have empathy for out there, but hey, if you can't get your stuff together, you know, you're going to have to deal with the consequences. And this is why crime is so rampant, is because there are no consequences right now. You know, there are no consequences right now. You know, when you have an addiction, you have to deal with that. Your life is falling apart. You're that is your consequence. That is your sentence. You are sentenced to a life of addiction where you don't want this life anymore. You have no money. You know, your whole life is how am I going to get high in the next few minutes? And crime is like that if you just let it run rampant. You know, you start to push people into crime. It's not my fault that you're doing crime, but, you know, you need some kind of religion, first of all, in schools. I believe that, ABL. You can later be agnostic or not believe in God. But the thing is, it gave you that base that This is not right, that empathy base, which I think is important. I've seen so many people like, well, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Well, he left his, even when you're 9 years old, well, he left his bike out there. He deserves it. No, he doesn't. He's a young kid. He ran into the house to go to the bathroom or do something. He left his bike out in the front for a second. If you don't take it and the next guy doesn't take it, it will be there when he comes out. You wouldn't want your bicycle stolen and all that and the feelings it gives you. No empathy. And the same thing with the drugs. After a while, it doesn't. I need to get high. And if I have to bop you over the head with this 2x4, I'm going to do that. Let's take care of those people. Let's bring those people back over to our side of the fence. Because believe me, there is an element of a person out there, a human being, that really does not belong in society. And it's not just a drug addiction. There are some people that, whether it's in nurture or nature, whether it's they were tortured when they were young or whatever, there are evil people out there doing very evil things. And those are the people I want to see locked up. Those are the people I don't want in our society. They can't be. Because the moment they get alone with you, they're strangling a woman. They're raping a woman. They're killing them. They're dumping their bodies places. Like I said, I've seen it all the time. We need to get as many people on the right side of the fence here. Let's try that. And then it doesn't matter. If you stop using abortion as birth control, it won't be a big issue, because mostly abortion is used for birth control right now. And I know I'm all over the place, but I'm just talking about these important things in society that we can get under control. It won't be an issue, and we can get down to being the greatest nation in the world again and doing the right thing. We help other people, yes, but in a concentrated, thought-out way. Protect our borders, protect ourselves from evil around the world. Don't be a burden to your own people with taxes upon taxes, so you can have graft and corruption and send money everywhere and God knows where, and it just puts in the wrong pockets. Let's do the right thing. Let's do the right thing. And I'm sorry, a lot of politicians are not doing the right thing, ABL. It's not the right thing when you're looking out for number one like they are, and getting rich. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, ABL. Thanks for taking my call and giving me a few minutes to go a little longer. And I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too.
All righty. That is a great way to end the show. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys, of course, are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. I will be back again live on the same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. So you guys come check me out for the next live stream. But I'm here every day putting out pre-recorded content right here on the channel. Also, I got a brand new channel. If you guys did not know, Uncle ABL, that channel is doing very well. I'm getting quite a bit of good feedback on that channel. My most recent video, a former dating coach and a former matchmaker destroyed me on Instagram. She sure did. She showed me what was what. Alrighty. But if you guys are not subscribed to Uncle ABL, please do so via the link right there in the chat. It's also always in the description. And that'll be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I could not do this show without you. So thank you for being here. I most certainly appreciate y'all. Do I have more super chats? Yes, I do. I'll read those right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Thank you to Bot KMIT, who says, sorry I came in late. I am told that you did not cover the Candace versus Ben debate. Can you hit on that right quick? Well, just briefly, I think Candace would go ahead and wipe the floor with Ben Shapiro. And I think that Ben, I don't like Ben Shapiro anymore. I wasn't really a big fan of Ben Shapiro from the beginning. I'm not going to say I hated him, but I just wasn't really a fan. But now he's just been doing so many weird things and saying so many strange things. He's coming off like a neocon type person, talking about, oh, well, do you want to see Ukraine get absorbed by Russia? Sure, why not? I mean, I don't want to see nobody innocent die, but at the same time, it's my responsibility to be the police of the whole world. And must I get involved in every single conflict happening worldwide? I mean, come on. So just on the strength of Ben not really being who I appreciate politically at this moment and aligning more with Candace Owens, although I don't agree with her on everything, I don't agree with anyone on 100% of everything. I just happen to like Candace more than Ben. So because of that, let's go for Candace. It's just simple as that. All right. So yeah, that'll be how that goes. And I think that Candace will do a better job at being able to win. And what I don't like about Ben, one more thing. What I don't like about Ben is in the whole process of trying to get the debate set up, he was trying to gaslight her into having a debate on the Daily Wire. Now, why, Ben Shapiro, would you fire somebody, or if they left, it doesn't really matter, why would you try to get a former employee who was one of the biggest conservative or political stars in the world, why would you want to try to make them feel guilty or gaslight them to come back to your channel and give you a bunch of money and eyeballs and everything else? Even if they don't monetize it, even if they don't necessarily sell anything, they don't read any ads on the actual video, the viewership they'll get will make up for it tenfold. So that was crazy. I'm not going to go back to my former place of business and make him a bunch of money. That's like if I go back to my job and they're talking about, hey, can you go back there and wash some dishes? No, I can't. I've been gone a long time. I'm in here to eat some food or to say what's up to my homie and go about my day. Go about my day. I'm not here to make money for you and then not get paid on top of that. Nah, I'm good. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Ben Shapiro or at this point, Jeremy Boring, but I digress. I'm getting triggered. Thank you to Matthew says war on drugs was lost before fentanyl. Lothair says, hey ABL, when are you going to go to Lexington? Hit me up. We can grill out and go to the range. You are awesome. Looking forward to the Ivan fight. LOL. Step on the octagon. Ivan. Yeah, I might be in Lexington one day because that's, right out the way, Kentucky. I go that way when I go to West Virginia and see my family up that way. Thank you to Lothair who says, Trump giving away free Chick-fil-A where? I'm not complaining about free food. Eye emojis. Thank you for that, man. Most certainly appreciate you. All right, that'll be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I'll be back live again on Sunday, but I'm here all throughout the week putting out pre-recorded content. You guys, please support that. Support the brand new channel, Uncle ABL. And if you're not subscribed to either one or you only subscribe to one, not the other, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel and that channel. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.